Association. So happy to be here this day, this month. I went to Bethune-Cookman University. It was Bethune-Cookman College when I did enter to learn and I departed to serve. And when I departed to serve, I went in to be a nurse. So I changed my major to being a teacher. I didn't want to be held hostage, so I did teach when I came out. But it was just something tugging on my heart that it was just something else that needed to be done. So I looked in the penny saver where you can always find a job, and I saw that there was a ad for a case manager for the Volusia County, Flagler County Sickle Cell. So I said, I'm getting that job, and I applied. I never done case management in my life. I applied, I had 108 cases, people to help, and I fell in love with the business. I fell in love with the position. I fell in love with helping. Sickle cell is a disease that's hushed too much for me. So many people have sickle cell, but they're not heard about, they're not heard from. And so my goal and my passion in life, I notice now, is to make sure that sickle cell people that have it know that their lives absolutely matter. Okay, I'll give you the example. Me sitting here, and those of you all that do not have sickle cell at all, our cells in our bodies are round and they're whole. And with our cells traveling, our cells has the responsibility within our human bodies. And so they transport oxygen to and from our organs. Those that have sickle cell, whatever the case may be, their oxygen leaves that cell and it turns to this shape. And with those shapes trying to go through the blood vessels, small as they are, they start to clump. And when they clump, that causes pain, which causes the person to go into something called a crisis. So it's a major deal when a person goes into a crisis and has to go to the emergency room, has to get an IV, so their bodies can come back from this cell shape to this cell shape, and they can continue on their lives. This is happening over and over every day, month, every year, and they have to learn to adapt and live in this body like that. So the Levi Sickle Cell Association, we offer case management, we offer community services, advocacy, and I follow the AIM concept, AIME. I advocate, I inspire, I motivate, and I educate in reference to sickle cell and how to live, how to adapt, and how to maintain in the body that has sickle cell. So with any nonprofit organization, the challenge is finances. Being that I am a nonprofit organization, you're able to give, you're able to donate, you're able to get it as a tax write-off. And not only do I have a nonprofit 501c3 letter to date, but I also have a letter from the Department of Agriculture where I'm able to receive up to $1 million in donations. So that is the challenge for me right now, is maintaining funding. And if you would like to donate, you can donate by Zelle, you can donate by Cash App, you can donate by cash, you can donate by check. And it's all going to the Levi Sickle Cell Association. With the funding, transportation for our clients. A lot of our clients, they need rides to and from doctor's appointments, to and from hospitals, to and from the grocery store, or just to maintain their lives. I know you might say, oh, well, it's a boat train, you can ride the bus. But can you imagine you on the boat train and you go into a crisis, and then that you have to literally, like, the bus has to stop and they have to get an ambulance. So with transportation, I do transport my clients to and from their actual appointments, to the doctor's offices. Food, helping them maintain food in their homes. If their prescriptions are over their insurance needs, co-pay for that. What else? School is starting. A lot of my clients do have children. So thank God for the book bag giveaways. Shout out to all of you all that were able to help and give in our communities. But guess what? We have the fall, then we have the spring term. So school supplies, clothing, shoes, anything that can be given to our clients is very necessary. I want you all to know that sickle cell is not only for Black people. Sickle cell is not only for people of color at all. Sickle cell goes worldwide. It affects every culture and every race in some way. So for you all to know this, sickle cell lives matter. They are very important, and they have a voice.
My name is Ricky Robinson. I got 2 girls that I'm raising. I went to culinary school. Did that for a few years. Now I work at a restaurant. And anything to deal with my girls, I'm for it. Running around, laughing with them. That's what my day pretty much is with my kids. And other than that, I'm watching football, something like that. I've been feeling ill. It had been raining like maybe 2 or 3 days straight, and my joints was bothering me. I didn't go to the hospital right then because I thought I could, wait it out. Maybe a week after that, my legs kind of gave out on me, and I ended up in the hospital. I wasn't able to complete school because I was in and out of the hospital. As far as my living situations, couldn't work, being in and out of the hospital. And just, I just had to deal with it. Just had to keep moving. Patience. I've seen it too many times where doctors and nurses come in there and they just don't do their job right because they have no patience. If they can have patience, it'll go a long way.
Lieutenant Jr. During one time in soccer, I got overheated, and then I remember that I had sickle cell. I tell them that I get hot easily, and that most times when we're outside, walking from class to class, I tell them that I'm really hot. Don't worry, just be hydrated, stay safe.
I was born and raised in Daytona Beach, Florida. I graduated from Mainland High School. I have a son child, he's 12 years old, and I have a daughter, Anna. He has sickle cell disease, and she has the trait. And I work and pretty much take care of them, all about them. They wanted to test me when I was pregnant by doing an amniocentesis, which is they take a needle and they get some of the amniotic sac or the fluid or the DNA from the baby, but it can put you at a high risk of having a miscarriage. And then I asked him, I said, okay, well, if I do it, I said, what would be the risk? He told me the risk, and he was like, well, it'll determine whether you wanted to keep the child or not. And I was like, well, regardless if my child has sickle cell, I'm not gonna abort it. So I waited. So once he was born, they drew his blood, and then I believe they called me with the results. And I think I started crying because I felt bad. because, I was young. I didn't really know how his life would be with it. And then now knowing that he's, living just fine and we're doing everything that we can to make sure that he stays healthy, I wouldn't change it for the world. With the disease, they have full-blown sickle cells, so their blood cells are shaped like a crescent. They don't have whole blood cells, which is hard for the oxygen to transfer throughout their body properly, and it can cause them to go into a crisis, which is them being in pain and stuff like that. Compared to disease, you're not as likely to get admitted to the hospital or have pain. You almost kind of live like a normal life. You just have to be careful who you decide to have relations with and have kids with, because then in the result, you can come out with a kid that has sickle cell disease. It's really not that much of a difference. I noticed with my son, he doesn't really like to be outside in the sun too much because he starts to get overheated, which is why I try to make sure he stays hydrated as much as possible. Compared to my daughter, she can stay out there pretty much almost as long as she wants, but for the most part, they just like being in the house in the AC. I treat them the same. I really don't treat them any different. He's had 2 surgeries. He had an umbilical hernia repair, and he also had his tonsils removed. So whenever he has any type of major surgery, he always has to be admitted overnight because they want to monitor him. They give him a blood transfusion before, just in case, once he's done with surgery or in surgery, if he loses too much blood. But for the most part, he's done well with both surgeries, and I'm just thankful that he hasn't had to go through that experience like how I know some people that have gone through it. Because as a parent, you feel helpless. And then you almost kind of feel like at fault because it's a result of you. Like you gave it to them. But I just make sure I do everything I can to make sure that he stays healthy and he's good.
On April 1st, 2023, our Father woke me up to begin this writing. As my computer awoke from sleep mode, a Facebook memory popped up. At first, I didn't want to read it and fall down that rabbit hole of clicking and reading and clicking and scrolling. I had spent March 31st in the ebbs and flows of life, receiving great news and experiencing greater stress. During my waking hours, I longed for a peaceful night of rest, and last night did not disappoint. Now I see how God has allowed me to begin my healing from the grief. A marriage separation is a precarious place to be. On one hand, you miss the good times you shared with another. On the other hand, you find yourself traveling the cycles of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, as defined by a psychiatrist in 1969. This next part of my story made me smile, laugh, and rejoice over the memory. It made me see just how far I have come with my healing towards acceptance. The Winds of Change by Evangelist Angie B. Hello, 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 and welcome to the start of our 24 hours of Sickle Cell Awareness and fundraising for the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association based in Volusia County, Florida. This organization has the goal to knock out sickle cell anemia. I am the Queen Bee, Evangelist Angie B, and I got my guard dog Atlas in the background, keeping me company. Our hosts this evening are Kiana and Sonia B. They will be joining us in just a moment. We have special guests that will be popping in and out throughout the evening, and we have special announcements for you that are now on the screen. September 29th, 2023, from 6 to 9:30 p.m., the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association presents A Night to Remember at the Michael and Libby Johnson Center for Civic Engagement at Bethune-Cookman University. If you'd like more information, send a text to the number that you're soon going to see scrolling at the bottom of the screen, and we will get everything to you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your support. And please keep in mind, we will be with you for 24 hours in one form or another. Coming to the screen right now is our host, Kiana Long Hargret, and her special co-host this evening, Sonia B. Welcome, ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good
Hello.
evening.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, Kiana. Welcome back.
How are you? Yes, there's a few difficulties.
Just a few.
Minor. But it's good to see you today. How was your day?
My day was great. How was yours?
It was long. It was long.
I'm sure.
It's been a good day. It's been a good day.
Good. This has definitely been a great day for me. I was speaking with one of my friends who was talking about how she is beginning as she gets older to appreciate the small things in life. And my day started with my neighbor calling me and saying, I made some sourdough bagels. I would love for you to just come and get some." And I said, "Okay, I'll be right over." I came over and got them and tried to give her a donation for her nonprofit, and she wouldn't accept it. She just wanted to bless me with those, and that just started my day great because they are delicious. They were great with my coffee. It just started the day on a great time.
There's a book I saw the title. I didn't read the book, and it's called "Don't Sweat the Small Stuff."
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I've never read that book, but my mom used to have that book along with so many others that I remember. And sometimes I see people with sweatshirts that say that. And yeah, it's a great mantra to just always remember. I remember Oprah used to have a segment called Remember Your Spirit, where she just wanted people to remember the things that really touched them and made them happy, even if it made them sad. Just remember your spirit. And yeah, I agree with that. Not sweating the small stuff. I don't always do it because I can go crazy about the smallest thing, but I try my best not to.
And I think as humans, that happens to all of us. The best of us, the least of us, the greatest of us. It happens because we're human beings and we're in
Yes,
a human body. We go through
yes,
human experiences, and
yes,
that's what it
yes,
is. It's
yes.
another thing that says you may forget the person's name. You may
But you won't
forget,
forget how they made
but
you
not
feel.
how they made you feel. And that is so
Yes,
true. That is so
yes,
true.
yes.
Yes, that is so true. And
Mhm.
welcome everybody to the telethon of the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association. And please join us. And before we go ahead and continue to speak and talk, I'm going to open us up with prayer. Um, Lord, we thank you so much for this day. I thank you for this Friday in the month of September. I thank you for this telethon. I thank you so much for Queen Angie B. I thank you for how you watched over her, taking care of her body, touched her, oh God, even now. I thank you so much for my co-host here with me. Thank you so much for togetherness. Thank you for unity. Thank you so much for this organization. Bless it, oh God. Everyone that's dealing with this illness in the name of sickle cell, bless them, touch them right now, even those that are in the hospital right now. Give the doctors patience with them. Allow them to be at ease, oh God, and touch their bodies right now in the name of Jesus. Bless this telethon that monies can come to proceed and to continue this organization to continue to flourish. In your mighty name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
So my name
So,
is
Miss
Kiana.
Kiana,
I was going to just introduce
yes,
myself to somebody. If you are just tuning in, this is the
mhm,
telethon of the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association, and I'm Kiana Long Hargret, and I'm the CEO and the founder of the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association. And my co-host, she's going to introduce herself.
yes. Good evening. My name is Sonia B. Many of you may know my extraordinary sister, our producer, Angie B. She and I are actually blood sisters, and I am thrilled to be invited as a co-host on this telethon again this year. I guest hosted last year for a few hours, I believe, with our dear friend Larissa, and it's just been a blessing to me. I didn't know a lot about sickle cell, even though here in Michigan, I reside in Michigan, and we have a sickle cell anemia center that literally was in walking distance from my childhood home. We used to walk past it when we would go to church for choir rehearsal or anything. And I just never really knew what it was. I knew that it was something that was passed down from your parents or from different generations. I just didn't know how it affected your body. And last year, I learned a few things about sickle cell. And so I definitely touch and agree with you, Miss Kiana, about praying for everyone who is suffering from this disease. And I just hope that everyone realizes it's not a small thing. It definitely is a small cell, but that small cell can change your life in a way that you, you never could have imagined.
Yes, it can affect greatly from the smallest person to the largest person. So that's
Yes.
why my My concept is AIM. I added another A since last year. It was just AIME. So I just added another A because it's so many myths out there. So it's still advocacy, awareness is what I added.
Yes.
Inspiration, motivation, and education. All of those play a part in going around and talking to those that are living with this disease and those that don't know anything about it.
Yes, yes. I admit, when I first learned about sickle cell, it was from T-Boz, um, one of the musicians I grew up with.
Oh wow.
And well,
TLC?
I didn't. Yes, not.
Oh,
I didn't grow up. I mean, TLC was a part of my musical foundation, is what I
me
mean.
too.
I wish
I love
I could say that I knew her,
that.
but
I hear you.
but yes, T-Boz did an interview one time
Oh wow.
saying how she had sickle cell and that she was in so much pain sometimes before she came out on the stage, and she would either have to perform through it, or sometimes she would have to delay for a moment to get past that pain. And that's what made me start looking into sickle cell, because TLC, I'm sure if you recall, well, I mean, it's not like they're gone, but they are extraordinary dancers. And so for someone to say that they have joint pain and they are extraordinary dancers like that, it was something that I really wanted to explore more. That was my first to learning about sickle cell. Oh,
So we have a special guest who
there
is,
we
yes, who's in the background, who would like to come on and ask questions. So I wanted to welcome Memorable Expressions to the show. Let's give her a hand as she comes. Hey!
How you
Oh,
doing?
it's so good to see you. Good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Jenny Denise Haywood. I am the owner of Memorable Expression 360 Photo Booth. We're here to capture all those special moments, make memories, memories, and memories. I do birthdays, corporate events. So, yes, I make memories for my clients. And I do have a few questions. I too don't know a lot about sickle cell. As I was growing up, I heard a lot of people that had it, but I don't know much about it. But I do have a question. If sickle cell traits is not an illness, why are people being tested for it?
So it is an illness. So I don't know who said it's not an illness. So it is actually an inherited disease. That's the
Okay,
correct term. It's an inherited disease that can only be transpired from a mom and a dad having the trait of sickle
okay, got you. Okay,
cell. So that's why, oh, I'm sorry. Just the end. The other part of your question is, so after 1988, it wasn't a mandated test.
okay,
Literally in 2006, it just became a mandated test all over the United States, all over the world, actually. So now you have to get tested for it. And it's amazing because you would think with all of the technology that we have, all of the new doctors and new surgeons and new people that we have learning so many things, that this would be just something of, something simple, but it's not. I have a friend who she's in her 40s, like me. We went to college together. She literally just found out she had sickle cell. Out of all the things in her life, she had found out, the doctor said she had this, she had that, and this and that. She literally reached out to me at the beginning of the year and said, they told me I have sickle cell. I don't know anything about it. And that is so weird. And she's originally from Atlanta. And so I know in Atlanta, they do have a lot of good technology, good
yeah.
doctors.
Mm-hmm.
My first client is originally from Atlanta. He passed away. He was my very first sickle cell client, Trinity Range. And I know they had good doctors. And some of the doctors in Georgia wanted to meet me because of my gusto and my drive for this. But it's amazing to me that they still haven't, but of course not, because guess what? They're not finite. They're human beings. They're
Yeah.
people just like we are. They go
Yeah.
to school, they do a dissertation, they become a doctor, and they're not finite. They're not perfect. So of course, I just answered my own question. That's why they don't know and they won't know, because they're not God.
Gotcha. Okay. And the next question is, are people of African descent the only group affected?
Absolutely not. So the history of sickle cell derives from Sahara Africa. And in 1910, a client, well, I say a client, but it was a patient that was crying out in pain. So the doctor had the assistant to look into a microscope and look at his cells to see why was he hurting so bad. And they saw two shapes. One that was like this, a round shape, and one that was like this. They had never seen that before. So Dr. James B. Herrick in 1910, he named that cell shaped like this a sickle cell. And because it was found in Africa, that is the myth of why that people say it's the only African or African American disease or black person's disease. It's all over the world. It's in the Mediterranean, it's in Asia, it's everywhere. I've met Caucasians that have the disease because love is spread all over the world. We're not prone to just one type of culture. When you love someone, you love. And so people have come together, made children, and that's why the education part is so important, to educate, to let people know you have to know your status. And then with that, my children's grandmother, she was raised up in their family. They have the trait. She knew without a shadow of doubt, do not talk to any guy that has the trait because you know sickle cell runs in the family. Well, her husband was in the service and he didn't get tested. And so when she had her knee baby, which is the baby before the last baby, she didn't understand why he was crying in the hospital. And when she did a live for me last year, she went to the hospital to find out why was her baby crying. His hands were swollen, his feet were swollen because that's the indication for babies with sickle cell.
Wow.
And when they tested him, she screamed because she knows what a child goes through. She was raised up around it, and the doctors sadly told her, "Do not have any more children. Again, you don't control who someone loves." Her and her husband had another baby, and the doctors told her to abort the baby. She said, "I was not going to abort my baby." She had the baby, and I won't say the name, it's my children's aunt, and that aunt has nothing, no traits, no anything. So the numbers are not head on. Of course, the statistics say we're 1 in 4 chance. I've met a mother who had 3 children. All 3 of them had the disease, and 2 of them have already passed away.
Wow.
So the numbers are not head on or dead on. They're not perfect. They're just numbers for statistical purposes to show you a chance. And you know, a chance is a gamble. It's not
Yeah.
exact.
Yes.
That's a chance. But the most important thing is education and detection. So being detected with the trait test is what we're trying to do now.
Yeah. Okay. One last question. Is there a cure for sickle cell?
Yes, there is. And so the cure is through stem cell treatment. It's an actual procedure. The procedure is $39,000. And so with that procedure, you have to have a match just like kidneys. You have to have a match of more so a sibling in your family that has the same mother and father that does not have the trait at all. How common is that? First of all, for in our culture, a lot of times the children don't have the same 2 parents.
Yeah.
So that's one that's almost like a count out. Then you have to, it's the $39,000. You have to, go with that with the hospital. And then the third thing is that sibling cannot have the trait. Now, the 2 I just gave you the example of, the uncle and the aunt of my children, I told the uncle about it. And the sister was a perfect person to do it because she doesn't have anything, right? But he said he didn't want to put her through that. She has 2 children. And it's like almost recuperating. We know as mothers, when you have a baby, when you recuperate, you have to sit down, you have to wait out the time. And so that would be a lot. So he said he would not do it. He would just let it be. And a lot of times our sickle cell individuals just learn to cope. They have
Yeah.
to cope in the emergency room in pain. They have to cope. It's just so sad. They taught themselves to cope with so much pain. The threshold is so high because of what they endure in their lives.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Questions?
Thank
That's very interesting. The $39,000 for a stem cell. Is it is it painful to have stem cells removed?
I would think they would just like any other surgery, of course, being adhesion. I think I'm saying it correctly. I know anesthesia put to sleep. And actually, I know a young lady who has gone through that process. And she's actually sickle cell free. But
Wow.
doesn't want to talk to anyone. She doesn't want to share her story. So mentally, I don't know what it has done to her. I don't know.
Mm.
It turned from me meeting her and before the procedure, and she was really nice, to after the procedure she was like, don't call me anymore. Maybe she doesn't want to think about it. Maybe she doesn't want to relive it. I was going through it in my mindset. What could possibly occur that she didn't want to share the story? I don't know. I can't say. But that's just me assuming and guessing.
Yeah.
But I did go attend a health fair in Deltona. And this lady is going to be at my banquet. And they have stem cell patches.
Mm.
Stem cell patches, and they're not that expensive because I can purchase them and I can give them out as like examples. And I put one on. I don't have sickle cell, but I have arthritis. So
Mhm.
what these stem cell patches do, they're out that round. I did have some to share, but I gave them out because people are really in pain. I knew I had one. I have one. I have one. When we're gonna break, I'll grab it. It's a round patch, no medicine in it. It's just a patch, and it has, when you put it, you attach it right here at the tip of your spinal. It reactivate your stem cells to heal your own body.
Oh,
So
Wow.
in
wow.
the pharmaceutical realm, they want us to take all this medication, which gives us side effects. And that side effect, it gives another side effect. And by the time you finish, you'll have dementia, you have Alzheimer's because you've taken so many pills and it has activated so many things in your brain stems. People
Yeah.
don't understand that. That's how you get those illnesses, from all those medications. And with our culture, because we were underneath from slavery up until, we were eating things that were not healthy for us. But that's all we had back then, and it trickled up in our families. I'm from Alabama, so I know how to cook collard greens. I've gotten away from the smoked ham hock and all that stuff because it's not healthy for you. So I do the turkey backs, turkey necks, because that's healthier. And
Yeah.
with us eating properly, that's even with sickle cell people. Anyone eating properly has a great effect on our bodies and our lasting. It's
Yes.
just with sickle cell people, because their cells go from whole to sickle. It's worse for them. But for us, we can get the same diabetes, high blood pressure. We can get the same unhealthy illnesses. And for us, we also need to watch our diets. So I learned we all were born with stem cells. As we
Mm.
get older, things change. My walk is different. With arthritis, my walk is different. I'll be 47 tomorrow, and I can't run track like I used to at Mainland. I was in the paper for runners. I love running. I was running hurdles. And of course, as we get older, our bodies change.
Yes.
We can work a job, and I did CNA for 20 years, lifting patients. My right shoulder, I messed up my rotator cuff. But I trusted
Mm.
God for my healing, and He healed me. I didn't have to have surgery. Doctor said, "Oh, just have surgery." That's their MO. Have surgery. I'm overweight. Thankfully, I lost 9 pounds. You know what doctor said? "Oh, just go. Let's have the sleeve." I'm not doing that because I know if I change my habits, because
Yeah.
I love seafood, I love chicken. I did change it from so much fried chicken. But if I work on changing my habits and I work on bettering myself, then I can get away from all these illnesses and all this pain in my body. So the
The,
stem
the
cell,
you know the frustrating thing about that though, Sister Kiana, is when you are trying to do things better for yourself, like organic foods or healthier foods, they're more expensive. And that's where we as a community often drop the ball. It's easier to go get a $5 Happy Meal than to spend $20 for the same amount
Mhm.
of chicken or the
Yes.
same
Hmm.
amount of nourishment. And it's a sad thing that just to look for longevity in your health, you it comes from different things that sometimes we don't have the resources to get. So that stem cell patch sounds great. I know it's not a substitute for eating well or exercising and things like that, but it definitely sounds like a way to get people to be a little more healthy, even if they can't put the fried chicken down like I can.
Like my mother. And we're from Alabama too. So
what part?
from Demopolis, Selma, Alabama. I graduated from Selma, Alabama.
Okay, and I'm
Yeah.
originally from the city of Montgomery, the
Oh,
capital.
I have three brothers there.
Oh, okay.
A small world.
Yes.
All right. It looks like we are going to um what happened to our producer? Um so it's I know that our guest was at the beauty bazaar last weekend, it's my understanding.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy it?
I loved it every moment. Yes, ma'am. It
Was
was
that
beautiful.
your first one?
Last year I went as a guest. This year I came as a vendor. My 360 photo booth was there. Yes.
Oh, I'm sure everyone
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I've been on the 360 one time with my daughter and we just had such a great time.
Yes.
We
Make those
were
memories. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. There's nothing like any type of memory that has to do with photos. It's just a wonderful thing. It is.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah. How did you learn about the Alopecia Beauty Bazaar?
Miss Angie B. She's
Okay.
amazing. Yes.
Yep. She is something else. So I've known her for a little while.
So,
Angie
who's
B
the
is my
oldest?
sister. She
The
is.
oldest?
She's
You or
she
who's the oldest?
is. She's
Oh,
5 years older than me. Yes, she
okay.
is. Yes.
Now, verbal expressions. I wanted to ask you, how much is it for an event? Because I'm having my banquet next Friday, and I would love for you to come because we're honoring those that have sickle cell, and we're remembering those that are no longer with us that endured the fight, and they went on, but they were strong soldiers that they were here, and I would more than love for you to come. And I'm hoping someone who's watching can possibly donate the funds for you to be able to come because I know this will be so memorable. I have babies that have just been born. They're probably a little bit older to come outside that will be there, that will be honored because sickle cell clients, they don't get honored. They
Yes.
don't, and their lives are so different.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So what are your prices?
Okay, I have a 2 hour rental for $400, 3 hour rental for $550, 4 hour rental for $700, and you have to do like $100 deposit, which goes toward your booking fee.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, do you offer any type of discount for nonprofits? Because the Levi Long Association is a
It
501(c)(3). We're getting close to the end of the year. You need
is.
those tax write-offs.
Yes, ma'am. I do. When I do it, I give like a $20 off of your selected package.
Amen. All right. Well, we definitely are believing God that some of our supporters this evening will dig in their pockets and, give a little bit that can go towards that 360 because that is always such a fun, memorable way to enjoy the evening and to keep
Yes,
pictures and
ma'am.
video. That
Yes, ma'am.
it's so great to see people. They're just going around and those
Just,
videos, those are
just have
great.
fun. Just have fun
Yes,
with your memory.
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
But I would definitely look at my calendar and I will get with Miss Angie B about it. Yes, ma'am.
That sounds good to me.
So, Miss Kiana, do we have a lot of guests this evening, or are we
So
just
I love surprises. So just
okay?
this person came on, I don't want to be like scheduled or timed or rehearsed. I just like to just happenstance.
Yeah.
So Miss Angie B knows the lineup. She's just gonna bring them as they come in. We're just gonna have open conversation as they come.
All right. Sounds great. Well, memorable expressions. Are you also a photographer? Do you or is your business solely the 360 at this point?
The Soul 360. Yes, ma'am.
It's
God bless.
awesome.
God blessed me with my 360 booth last year, October the 10th. And so October the 10th of this year be 1 year. God's
Yes.
grace.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
ma'am. Yes,
How's
ma'am.
it been? How's it been? Do you have a
Awesome.
lot of okay, that's
I
great.
mean, I have ups and downs, but I
Any
treat
That's every
yes,
business.
any business.
any business. Yes, ma'am. I'm thankful to
Yes,
God for any up, down, Yes.
yes,
And I
yes,
because you love it. When you love something, it doesn't
I
matter.
love
The ups are ups and the downs seem like ups. Because when
yes,
you love what you're doing, it doesn't matter. Like me, I love what I do. Like, oh my goodness, I love helping people. I love taking care of people. It's like I get excited doing this versus clocking in on a job. Like, I'd
it.
rather just do this and go around the world teaching about sickle cell, going to different countries,
Mhm.
advocating on behalf of people. And I'm grateful because I was just sharing with someone today. I'm here in Daytona, but I've called and advocated for someone in North Carolina. I've
Yeah.
advocated for someone in New York. I literally called the hospital and advocated for them in from Daytona, and the hospital is in New York.
Wow.
Wow.
That's something I love to
Amazing.
do.
Yes. I know for Memorial Day, I wanted to share I like sharing my blessing that God have granted me. And so Memorial Day, this young gentleman, he been in the military. Oh my God, he retired. I forgot what it was. But anyway, he ended up passing away. And so that was a picture or video that him and his family took. His son flew home from I can't remember what country he came back from, but he hadn't been home for like about 5 years. And so I was able to capture that moment for them. And he passed
Oh,
away by 2 to 3 weeks ago. And so his wife came to me and told me, she said that was memories. They would cherish that for the rest of their lives.
yes.
Yes. So
Oh,
memories, memories, memories. Yeah.
yes, yes. Oh, that is beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is, it was a question. It says, are sickle cell and alopecia related diseases? So, of course, when I don't know, I don't guess, I Google. And so I
Mhm.
Googled how are alopecia and sickle cell illnesses related. And so what Google told me was um, something in alopecia is the lower hair cortisol is among patients, and that's
Mhm.
in those that have sickle cell. So they do lose their hair. They do lose their hair because they have so much
Wow.
medication. Do you know that people with sickle cell, as they're young children, they get morphine as early as babies? They
Wow.
get a small dosage. And so that's why their body has a high threshold and they have to get that strong pain medicine because they come as babies getting medicine like that. So when a doctor looks at them and says, "Oh, you're looking for drugs," well, the drugs that you put me on, the drugs that you attach my body to, that same
Mhm.
drug I need to keep out of this pain.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Wow.
So it is closely related. Closely related. Yes. That's
Very
the
interesting.
closely related. Yes.
Wow.
Kiana, we're going to do a slideshow. We would love for you to tell us a little bit about what we're seeing on the screen once the pictures go up.
Okay, so this is the Levi Long Sickle Cells fundraising event, and it's called A Night to Remember. This is going to be such an awesome banquet. It's an all black affair. The single tickets are $25, but for a table of 8, it's $100. For those that are coming, and you will be recognized, you'll be honored that night. If you're sitting at a table of 8, then your table will be 80. It won't be 100. And so this is an awesome night. I am still looking forward to memorable expressions. I'm still looking for her. I'm looking forward for your 360 to be there. Yes.
Yes, man.
And so we're raising funds. So this can be an awesome night to remember. We can continue to move forward. And in this banquet, I will be remembering those that have sickle cell, those that are living as warriors in this fight. I will also be remembering those that have gone on in this fight. And so we have both. It's going to be an awesome night to remember. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be at the CCE building that's right behind the U-Haul off of International Speedway, the Bethune-Cookman's President Dining Hall. The attire is all black, semi to formal if you want to dress, but it's really, dress nice in all black attire. The food is going to be buffet style, all you can eat and drink. I am having a live band. I'll be sharing the music of the live band. I don't know if you remember a group called the Spinners. And so the live band is one of the members of the Spinners, the old group, the Spinners, and then he has a couple of new people. So that will be the live band entertainment. We will just have a nice time remembering those with sickle cell.
Yes.
This picture you see is a picture
Oh,
I briefly stated earlier. When a baby has sickle cell, this is a detection. This is the detection of, and it says signs and symptoms of and complications when a baby has sickle cell. It's the anemia, and they go into episodes of pain, and it's called the hand-foot syndrome, where their hands and their feet are swollen. and they just cry, 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 cry. And as a mom, there are certain cries we hear for. We listen for, and we can hear and understand. If our baby is hungry, that's a cry. If our
Yeah.
babies are wet, it's a cry. But then, can you imagine a baby that's in pain and just keep crying, keep crying? It's like, Lord, what can I do as a mom to settle my baby down? And it's extensive. It's very extensive.
Wow.
This is a picture of two of the sickle cells. I'm sorry, a whole cell and a sickle cell. So this is the picture that Dr. Herrick's assistant in 1910 saw in the microscope. And it states sickling of the red blood cells in patients with sickle cell anemia results in cells of abnormality. So that's how when us as we have whole cells, we don't have sickle cells. So our cells are soft, smooth, and round, as you see in the picture. But those that have in their bodies, they have sickle cell disease or anemia, when it could be anything. Their bodies could be dehydrated. They could not dress correctly for the weather. It could be because today is Friday. Whatever it goes on in their body, their oxygen starts to leave, and it depletes it, and it comes to that cell that you see, which is hard to pass through to get the oxygen to those organs that help us continue to live. And a lot of sickle cell clients have to have major organ surgery, hip surgery. They have organ damage. And this is another picture closely up front of red blood cells. And there's sickle and whole cells in front of you that you can see. So you see, this is a very important aspect of sickle cell, our red blood cells. This is what I talked about earlier with statistics. This is a mom and a dad. A mom with a trait and a dad with a trait. And if you see the circle, it shows half and half. So when they come together, at the bottom, you see the children or the statistical chance of how it can be. But of course, all the time, it's not like that. You see the one baby, I'm starting from left going over to right. So the first baby, you see, it's a 25% chance of having the trait. I'm sorry, 25 chance of having nothing. Then you see the second baby, I do both of them. Both of them is a half and half chance of the trait, 50-50 chance. And then because they both have the trait, of course, it's a 25% chance of the baby to have sickle cell disease. And like I stated earlier, and I've talked to the mom, I've gone to the funeral of a mom who had 3 babies. All 3 had the disease, and 2 of them have already passed, and they passed at early ages.
Wow.
The last one I went to, which was 2 years ago, she was 16. And now it's one more child left. And I literally just talked to the mom this week just to check on her because it's Sickle Cell Awareness Month. And it's just nice to just check on those that have lost loved ones in this fight, in this war.
Yeah.
That's me, the CEO of the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association. And actually, this was me last Saturday. And I actually have a total of 10 counties. Wow. And this is me in Orlando. I have 3 counties in Orlando in which I do case management for, and I do awareness for. And so that's at my brunch. And it was an awesome brunch last Saturday morning.
Awesome.
And we just want to remind everyone that your donations are tax deductible, and they can be given in every single way. You can mail a donation if you still write checks. There are some people in this world that do. Or there's a Zelle, there's a Cash App, and also a PayPal, and they are constantly scrolling across the bottom of your screen. If you want to write a check, you can make it payable to the Levi Long Sickle Cell Foundation, and of course, you will receive a certificate that indicates that it was a tax deductible donation. And again, as I was saying earlier to our memorable expressions, it is coming to the end of the year. We all need some tax breaks at times, and especially this year. So it would just be a great blessing to the foundation, Levi Long, and also just to everyone that your donation would assist. Even if it's $25, $50, whatever it is, it can help. For instance, Ms. Kiana, what can you do for a patient with no transportation and that has problems with medical bills? If I were to donate $25, would that help? Would that small donation help?
Of course, because I transport them As a case manager, I do transport them physically to the hospital. I go with them to doctor's appointments. I sit in there with them. And I remember when I first started this venture, I'm just now getting funds for this. But I remember when I first started this venture, I would go get off work because I've always taught and I've always been a CNA. So after working, I did 11 to 7 because I would teach in the daytime. But if a client would call me saying I had to go to the hospital, so I would say, okay, as soon as I got off at 7, go grab them, go take them to the hospital, stay there for a little while before I go to work to teach. It has to be in your heart. That's just like teaching. It has to be in your heart. It has to be something you care about and you're concerned about. And I'm really concerned and I care about this venture.
Yes. You can tell.
So, the answer is yes. The $25 can help with gas. Even if some of my sickle cell clients, even though they have Medicaid, they still have to pay a small amount for copays. I've learned when I was taking them to CVS, they still had to pay like $5 or $6 for copays. And if they don't have it, of course, I'm not going to not get the medicine.
Yes. Amazing.
A Mother's Heart.
Excuse me.
An anthology by visionary Teresa Jordan, featuring 9 phenomenal co-authors. This book is created for men and women around the world. It is dedicated to mothers from the past, present, and future. We thank you for your resilience, strength, and unconditional love. We honor you for the countless times you have been problem solvers, held things together, and became a superwoman to many. You are appreciated, and your great work and contributions will continue to be celebrated. Quote, "But Jesus beheld them and said unto them, With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." End quote. Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. Our prayer is that these powerful stories will transform your life, creating pivotal moments for you, and also be responsible for leaving permanent marks in your heart. Our prayer is that every story is an inspiration to you going forth. A Mother's Heart, compiled by Triumphant Magazine, published by Triumphant Magazine Publishing, promotional support by Angie B. Productions, and narrated by me, the Queen Bee, Evangelist Angie B. A Mother's Heart, an anthology.
Shaheem on the track.
You are cordially invited to join us for Sunday afternoon service. It's all about Jesus and Me Incorporated, the teaching ministry. Join us every first and third Sunday at 2:30 p.m. with Pastor Mary Hope and Minister Deacon Jerome Hope. Our outreach ministries include the Sick and Shut-In for our members, a virtual youth writing ministry, virtual Bible study, assisted living facility services, and a brand new shoe ministry, walking in a new life. Our teachings come from testimonies to show how the Word of God is effective in our lives, making the Bible come to life in our daily walk with Christ. It's all about Jesus and me, the teaching ministry. Join us on the first and third Sunday of the month at 2:30 p.m. at 1855 Prunier Road in St. Augustine, Florida. You are cordially invited.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. And we're back. Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to ask you how was your day today?
I'm beautiful and blessed. Yes, ma'am. How was your day?
It was long, but it was a pretty good day. This morning, as I was taking my youngest to school, so in Daytona, it was so nice and shiny. So as I keep driving, get to Ormond, and just rain just pour all the way. I'm like,
Yes.
what? But then tomorrow is the first day of fall.
Yes. Yes.
And I always remember because tomorrow's my birthday, and then September 23rd is always the first day of fall. I love my birthday.
Oh,
yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Going back home to Alabama, you know, the trees are so beautiful during the fall. Oh my goodness, to God for.
So pretty. Let me tell you something with my silly self. I really, if I wasn't going to do this, and this is like, I had to do this, but I wanted to go because I drive those hours. When I tell you I get up 3:00 in the morning and I hit that road by myself and I have my music on and I don't have to worry about because my kids don't want to they don't want to ride with me anymore. Like the ride is too long, but I still love it because I get to see the sights. I really wanted to go to Alabama today just to wake up in the morning, but I was like, how old am I? How old am I? Please, I have be 47, so I'm almost half 100.
Wow.
And it's the same with age comes to wisdom.
And it was funny you said that the older we get, you know, we have different problems. Today I had a hip injection because my left hip just been giving me problems and everything. When I turned 48, August the 17th, everything just started hurting. But that's okay. I'm not claiming that.
We need to find out because my left hip is hurting. My friend's daughter left hip is hurting. My best friend, her left, and it's black females. Wow. I need to find out because my physical therapy consultation was for today because of it. Wow. And when you just said that, that's a lot of African American females with hip problems.
Yes.
The left side.
Yes, and this is my second injection because the first injection they gave me like a month ago, it lasted for 2 weeks and then it started back hurting. So I went back today to get a second injection.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I told him I needed to do physical therapy because I don't know what's going on with my leg, you know?
Yeah, I tried the physical therapy. It didn't work.
Uh-oh.
It didn't work.
Uh-oh.
And then, you know, so I'm trusting and believing in God.
Yes. So in the middle here, we have a picture, and I've been trying to get these photos back. I was partnered with Easter Seal. Every time there's a talk about sickle cell in Daytona Beach, I get a phone call, and I get called into meetings. And so in the meeting was Easter Seal, yes. And it was a grant. It was a sickle cell grant, and so I came on board, and they did these pictures for me, and they did the board and everything, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. They don't know where the board is. They don't know what happened to it. And I hate I didn't keep it at home, you know, because that is a big thing. When I would go out and educate, look how beautiful those pictures are. And, I can make it closer in my screen. Okay, so this is me. In the community at Bethune Cookman University, my alma mater. Woo woo, hell Wildcat. And so I was called to do, it was the beginning of the school year last year when the students were coming back. I was one of the vendors to give them information about sickle cell. And every time I do something in the community, I find out people are living with this illness that I have not talked to, I have not spoken to, and it just increases and increases my caseload.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's what that picture is. This is a picture of this awesome and amazing book that I have. I love that book so much because it's like a coloring book, but you don't color in it. And it actually tells you step by step, and it describes, I literally just used this description to describe a normal cell, which is soft, smooth, and round. But with sickle cells, the the cells become hard, sticky, and shaped like crescents or sickles, and it causes a lot of health problems because when the oxygen leaves them, it loses that roundness, it loses that flexibility of being round and smooth, and it turns into a hard crescent because oxygen is left there. And
Wow.
can you imagine? Not only does it try to go through the organs, but they're running into each other because they can't get through because they're hard.
Mm.
Okay, now this is more scientific, and it's in reference to still the sickle cell, and it states about how it looks under a microscope. So this is the eye of the microscope, and it says it's adherent, it's HBS. It's a type of sickle cell. It contains red cells and other inflammatory stimuli. So these are sickle cells. They're captured on the adherent neutrophil. A lot of these words are like blah 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 blah, but it shows you how we in our bodies, what we have that are going on in our bodies to keep us healthy and strong and alive. When sickle cells are trying to go through, that's the things in the body that they're running into. Under the eye of the microscope, you can see that in that picture. So this is another part of that board, that beautiful board that I had. I missed it. And I'm partnering with the Department of Health, and I literally tried to get them to redo it, but they don't know how. So I just used the pictures that I had. And this is the example of the sickle cells and the parts of the body it affects is greatly is the eye. So, when people drink alcohol, they get something called jaundice.
Yes.
So a person that also has problems with sickle cell, you can tell because they also, yes, their eyes get yellow because the cells are not getting through to get oxygen to that part of the body. Yep. Yep. Oh, so let me see. It says, what is sickle cell anemia? Sickle cell anemia is a serious condition in which red blood cells can become sickle shaped. Normal
Griffin is coming, and she's gonna introduce everyone to her, and she's gonna let us all know a little bit about what she's gonna talk about. Hey, Miss Griffin, are you ready to come on in and say hi to everybody? Hello, 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 dear.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a guest this evening.
I truly appreciate it because I met you again. I know we've met before, but I met you again at the Volusia Business Women Networking Session. You came and joined us at the library, and I thought I knew something about sickle cell, but I didn't know nothing until you. I mean, I didn't. So tell everybody your name and where you live and what's got you most interested and involved right about now.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Kiana Griffin. For those that don't know me, there aren't too many people that don't know me because I never meet a stranger. And I reside currently in Daytona Beach, Florida, the world's most famous beach.
Mhm.
And I'm excited for this venture that I have taken responsibility for. And that is the responsibility of being an advocate and an educator for sickle cell.
Mm. Why sickle cell? Why not an advocate or an educator for lupus or thyroidism, or what drew you to the topic of sickle cell?
So actually, I was looking for something else to do other than teaching in 2009. And as I was looking for another job, I saw case manager for sickle cell for Volusia County / Flagler County in Daytona Beach. So
Wow.
I had never been a case manager. I had never even heard of sickle cell. I knew it was
Wow.
something that I wanted to do. And so I said, I'm going to get that job.
Good for
And
you.
I saw the ad, I called and I set up an interview. I went and I interviewed and I got the position, not knowing
Wow.
how that decision was going to have an effect on my entire life.
Because it's all in you. It's all, I mean, even the color of your shirt. I mean, it's just, it's just, oh my goodness. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, what is the definition of sickle cell anemia?
Sickle cell anemia is an inherited blood disorder or disease.
Hmm.
That is the scientific definition for it.
Inherited. I wonder, I know that I have passed some things along to my children. And it's like, oh, I'm so ashamed. Oh, I should have known better. I cannot imagine what parents go through when they see their child in crisis and they know they how can you comfort them?
So the best way to comfort someone that has sickle cell is definitely by educating them to not continue that disparity in their family, because it is genetic and
Right.
it does trickle down through genetics and in the families. So the best thing to do is for them to be educated. And then the ironic thing is, I learned it hit home for me. I didn't know how closely it hit home for me. My children's uncle has the actual anemia, and my great uncle, he had 3 children to die from complications for sickle cell, and I learned that this year.
That's right. You mentioned that at the library. Oh my goodness. Mm, mm,
I just
mm,
it hit home for me. It did, but that just
mm.
all the more gusto and desire to run for this challenge in this battle for people that have to live with this every day.
Every day, every day. So somebody asked me, why are you having a workshop on sickle cell? Usually our Friday morning workshops teach us how to put on our eyebrows or do a turban twist or put on magnetic eyelashes. Sickle cell has nothing to do with alopecia, or does it? Or and so my response to them was, why not? Anytime we are gathered together, we need to be sharing this information, because like you said, you didn't know before you got the job, and then you didn't know how it affected your family. There could be something that we could help to educate somebody about. So that's
Def-
why you're coming. That's why I invited you. It was so heavy on my heart. I said, I gotta have Miss Griffin come out. I got to. I got to.
and I totally agree. I remember today, I did another segment earlier, and the ladies are asking me. One from was from the Department of Health, one was from Bethune Cookman, and I was telling them about the event coming up because a videographer was going to come and video me while I did the workshop, and
Good.
so they were saying, how are you gonna, like, how does, what does that have to do? And I said, I can relate sickle cell to anything.
Anything and anybody.
Absolutely. Because with your organization and your workshop and your um, program this weekend, it's something that you have to deal with. It's something that you have to live with. Those that are challenged with this
Mhm.
disparity, the same thing with the realm of sickle cell. It's a challenge. You live with it. You are victorious in it, and you move forward with it.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. And it's all about awareness and understanding. Now,
Yes.
when we were at the library, I remember you saying something about how you had to be an advocate for people when they show up in the emergency room. And I don't want you to do your whole presentation now, because I want people to still come and meet you and see you on Friday. But can you tell us what you think is needed in the hospital system so that there will no longer be a need for an advocate?
Yes. So I was in a part of a symposium this year. It was a sickle cell symposium where I learned from those from Minnesota and from Washington, D.C., New Jersey, all over the world. And so one thing that a young lady taught us was in her area, they do something called 30-30-30 rule. Means when you come to the hospital, they have 30 minutes to bring you in, 30 minutes to give you your IV, 30 minutes to give you your pain meds. That cancels me out right there. Then I don't have to advocate if they follow the 30,
Right.
and that is it right there.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Who's keeping track of the 30? But I get it. It is the effort. It
Yeah.
is definitely the effort. Definitely the effort. If there's something you could say to a person who falls in love with somebody, and then they find out they got a trait, and this one find out they got a trait, is it just don't have children, or what do you say to them?
I would never tell anyone not to have children. I would never do that. But what I will do is um, encourage them to know everything they're getting in themselves into, everything that is in front of them, in reference to them making that decision, because that's a decision they will have to make. Not only make, but have to live with.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that when people don't know, and my children's grandmother, I interviewed her on live, Facebook Live this year in my community health fair. She didn't know that her husband, who was in the service, had a trait. And
Because the service didn't test for it.
they did not test for it. In her family, because it was so well known, her grandmother, her aunts, they all made sure, and they told her and warned her, you make sure you know who you settling down with, who you having children with. Do not talk to anyone that has the trait. So he didn't know. And because he didn't know, they fell in love, got together. Their first child had full-blown sickle cell anemia. She was devastated. She even expressed her devastation on the recording, how she was screaming out loud in hospital because she couldn't understand why her baby kept hollering. He wouldn't stop hollering.
Oh.
And that's when she found out he had sickle cell anemia. And the sad part is, I've witnessed a nurse tell one of my clients that who was pregnant in the hospital. And so the doctors told her, when she got pregnant again, to abort the baby. And guess what? Because she did not, and because she trusted God, that baby didn't have anything, the trait or the anemia. So we can never play God. We can never play, being something that we weren't created to be. Only we were created to be people. And the story never changes. It's the same no matter what. The story never changes. That's the exact same thing I just shared. That was me last year with your sister in interviewing with, and it's the same. I mean, it just duplicates itself. That's it. It duplicates itself.
Yeah.
It's real out here. That's what I would say in sickle cell. It's real out here.
Yeah.
Like I'm
It's
glued to the
definitely
phone.
not something.
I'm glued to the phone. Like, okay, I want more. I want to hear more. I want to hear more so I can share.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
It's on
And
my
we
shirt.
really
Mhm.
should share more information about sickle cell because it is a silent killer that, just like diabetes or high blood pressure, so many diseases that we take for granted and we don't think that, oh, it can't affect us, it can't touch our lives or anything like that. I don't think I've ever been tested for the sickle cell trait. I don't have it in my family that I know of. But how do you know if you aren't tested? Do they test
Right.
everyone when they're born?
They didn't remember they stopped after 1988. And so now it's
Okay.
mandated if you're born after 2006, the 2006 year, then you get
Hmm.
tested. So my youngest was born in 2006. But so I tested myself and I had my other children tested because of their grandmother, family, and it ran in their family. I don't have the trait. They don't have the trait, which is a blessing. But
Yes.
they already
Yes.
know this. They know because this is all I talk about.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I see a question has come in. How can I get my child tested? Which is an excellent question because my
So,
daughter is 11. And as I said, I've never been tested, and I'm 1,000%. Well, she was born in 2012, so I guess she was tested
so
because you
it's two
said after
ways.
2006.
There's two ways. I contacted LabCorp. So here in Volusia County, we have LabCorp and we have something Quest Diagnostics here. So I contacted them to find out, if I could partner with them for testing. Because right now, because of I don't have my building, So I can't test right now. I have to wait until I get my building, which I have it in December. So for now, for people to get tested, they have to go to either Quest Diagnostics or LabCorp. But when you go there, you have to get a referral from your doctor. Now I'm partnered with Halifax Hospital, and now students, because they're mandated to get their sickle cell trait test before they can even redeem their sports scholarship, Halifax is doing it for free. I know they're doing it for athletes, and that's a great question for me, and that's a challenge on Monday. I need to call Halifax to find out, is it for everybody to get a test or only athletes?
Right. Because it's great for an athlete to know, but yeah, it's not something that's widely known. And will insurance cover it? Is it a standard blood test, or is it a more extensive blood test than just a blood draw?
So it's two different types. The trait test is very simple, a simple blood draw. It's a prick to your finger, because I did it. I used to do it for the students at Bethune, the athletes, when I was working on 2nd Avenue before I ventured out. It's a prick to the finger. And that year, 2009, I had to send it out to a lab. Now, because I talk to different organizations, Tallahassee is one that does it. But of course, they have it in their building. They have the vials in a box in the refrigerator in their office. So it's a quick test, and it's almost like COVID. You put it in a vial and you shake it up and you wait for 10 minutes and you'll know your trait result. If you have sickle cell anemia, you'll know. But the trait is what we don't know. A lot of people don't know. Really. I mean, even families, they're not telling their children. I went to a symposium in Orlando 2 years ago, and while we were there, it was a lady who shared she was engaged. And while she was sitting at the table, they knew they didn't want to deal with a baby that had sickle cell, so they made sure, that everything was fine. People don't get blood tests anymore to get married like they used to. Right. They were sitting at the dinner table, and one of the cousins said, "So what are you all going to do about sickle cell?" And the young lady says, "What do you mean, what are we going to do about sickle cell?" And she says, "Well, he has the trait."
Oh, wow.
She said, "What?" And his mom says, "Oh, I didn't tell you had the trait." What? And I'm sitting in the closet like, what happened next? What happened next?
Right.
That was real. That was so real. I have a first cousin. They have sickle cell on their dad's side. And out of the 4 children, my auntie and uncle have together, 2 of the children have the trait. Because the uncle has it. My uncle has a trait, my auntie doesn't. My auntie and my mom are sisters. We don't have it on our side. So one of my first cousins has the trait. She married a man early on that had the trait.
Wow.
They didn't stay together because they both wanted children. So they didn't stay together. That's just how real it is.
Yeah.
They didn't stay together.
That's gotta be a hard decision. I mean, that I respect the fact that you sacrifice your own happiness to know that if you both have the trait, there's a great chance that your children are going to have the trait, and you don't want to.
Oh, absolutely. The disease. That's the chance. The disease with 2, 1 and 1 with that makes the 2. That makes the disease.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that is so scary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, being a single woman, and I would love to be married one day, but there are so many things. That's something that should be in premarital counseling, actually.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be great if you ask about their credit, their what are your religious beliefs?
Yeah.
And hey, come here, let me prick your finger. These things that should be
yes.
checked.
And not only that, so 3 things about that. But first, let's answer the question. It says, if I donate blood, will that help a patient? Definitely. So this is what happens when a person goes into the ER. They're in crisis. They go into the ER. They sit there. They wait for them to adhere to them. They finally get a room. They get IV put into them. Their blood is already clumping. That's what caused the crisis, right? So then, because their blood is like it is, a lot of times they need a blood transfusion. And so a lot of times they have to use blood that has been donated to them. And I remember my first year having my exercises and things in the community. One of my clients, she was in ICU because they gave her a blood transfusion and the blood was bad. It was not good for her body. So that's what happens. All the blood is not good for them because they don't match up to tolerate their bloodstream in their body. So the blood was bad, which put her in ICU, and then she was literally close to death.
Whoa.
But that happens a lot of times. When we donate, it really, really helps. And I have to start back setting up the big red bus because it really, really helps. But people are so skeptical to give, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, one strong donor I remember was our good friend Larissa Simon. She always donated because she knows, you know, firsthand about sickle cell because it's in their family.
Yes, yes. So blood, what about plasma? Is that, well, okay, here's a question because I'm a plasma donator and I used to donate blood, but I honestly have not donated blood in about 13 years. And the reason I know specifically is because the last time I donated blood, they told me my iron was low and I was 40 years old. And they said, you know, any chance you could be pregnant? No, I'm 40. There's no chance I could be pregnant. And so they tested me a couple of times and they were like, I'm sorry, Miss Bennett, you know, you've been a great donor, but your iron is very low and it's getting lower every time we test it. So I went and had a pregnancy test and yes, I was pregnant. So, so that traumatized me. So I haven't been vaccinated, but you know, there are several Red Cross centers here in Michigan. Every month, I get some type of card asking me to come back and donate. So I definitely, before the year is up, I will donate some blood. But I do donate plasma a couple of times a week. Do plasma donations? I know the stem cell donations are probably, you know, one of the best donations. But what about plasma? Is there anything that plasma can do to assist sickle cell patients that you know of?
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay. Because I definitely believe I'm not I'm a bone marrow donor, but
that's big. That's a big help. That's a big help.
Is it?
Okay. Oh yeah.
I hear that hurts, but you know. Now.
Okay, let me read what it says.
Okay,
it says when you donate, blood is tested for specific antigens that are needed to treat sickle cell disease. If your blood contains those characteristics, we will let you know. So you can help sickle cell patients by donating whole blood, plasma, or platelets. So yes, it does. Right. It really does. Okay,
so
you have been helping. Where's the clapping of the hands? Where's the clapping of the hands?
Yes.
Yes, there it is.
Well, that's
it
good
was something else I was going to tell y'all. I should have written it down. I'm getting at that age. I have to write a lot down.
I understand. I do see that we have a caption up that says Evangelist Angie B now includes that question in premarital counseling, thanks to what we learned from Levi Long sickle cell. Yes. Who wants to get married? That is a great question because not only is it something that you want to protect your partner from, but it is something that you have to think about the generations that you're going to produce possibly.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's a great premarital question. Yes.
So those, I remember now when she said that, it's two things I want to share. So when I go out into the community, which I'm getting ready to start doing more of the young adults, when I do the young adults, I tell them, of course, it's not popular when you're on the phone backing or, you know, talking to get to know someone, to have a future with someone, to ask them, do you have sickle cell disease? Because then somebody be like, what is it? So people think it's contagious. They think they can get it. And it's a lot, right? So that's something I share. So I know it's not a conversational piece, but you have to talk about it. Yeah. Especially if it's a part of your family. You have to explain to your significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, that, you know, this is real in your livelihood and that it's in your family bloodline. So that hopefully that'll prick them to go ahead and get a blood test. The second thing was one of my clients who had the disease, when she had to go to the hospital, this is such a sweet story. The EMT worker that came to get her, he fell in love with her. And they got married, and they're married to this day. And I love them so much.
Oh, wow.
She'll probably be on the part of the marathon next week. Because I'm having another marathon next week. And actually, I have a YouTube video YouTube video with her on there talking about the love story when they met and everything. It's on YouTube. I
Oh,
actually interviewed her,
awesome.
yes, and then and I
Oh
asked her all about it because I thought that was the sweetest thing.
Well,
Her
yes.
wedding was so beautiful. She did all her stuff, and she's actually a business owner.
Oh,
She actually does
wow.
parties and everything, and so I really push her because she's very talented. Yes, yes.
That's
what's her
great.
YouTube?
Somebody
That's a
said
good
something.
question. Yep. A memorable expressions asks,
Oh,
what's your friend's YouTube so that we
YouTube.
can see it? Or
it
I
was on
wonder if
mine.
maybe.
It
Oh,
was on my
okay, maybe.
YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and Google Levi Long Sickle Cell, you will
Okay.
see it.
Okay.
And her
Okay.
name is April Hall. That's her name.
All
So it'll
right.
say
Well.
interview with April Hall, and you'll see. I got a lot of YouTube videos on because we Levi Long
Okay.
Sickle Cell Association.
All right.
Because I
Well,
used to come
maybe
on
our producer can
StreamYard,
find
and
that.
I used to have people to come on. This was during COVID. You know, we had to stay at
Mhm.
home. We had to find
Yeah.
something to do. So I would come on and just talk about sickle cell. So it's on YouTube.
All
Okay.
Under
right.
my Levi Long Sickle, you can Google Levi Long
Awesome.
Sickle Cell, you'll find it on YouTube. So my student last year, when I talked about it in September, because I go right into it every year. So some of my students that I saw at Halifax Academy, they started Googling me and coming in and look at Miss G, I see. And I'm like, what y'all doing Googling me? But they
Oh, the
saw my
world of
passion,
technology.
Yeah.
and it tripled over because my alma mater is Bethune-Cookman, right? So this year, Miss Bonner, who was my mentor at Bethune-Cookman, and I was a peer counselor under her when I was attending the school, she brought me 3 interns. I had a chance to get 3 interns this year from Bethune-Cookman.
Oh,
And
wow.
I taught them the information. They fell in love with it. So the fact that one of them, she got a job with the Orlando Tri-County Sickle Cell. She's the outreach coordinator and she does sickle cell now. She has a job with
Oh,
them from doing my
Wow.
internship. And that's what
That's
it's all
a great
about.
success
awesome.
story.
Passing the
Yes.
baton, because one day I'm going to close my eyes and my prayer is that people just keep it going. Because I'm
Yeah.
not going to be
Yeah.
here forever. I'll be 50. I'll be
Right.
47 tomorrow. Like I'm almost half
Yeah.
100.
Oh my gosh. And speaking of not being here forever, it is time for a video break. We will be right back.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Bedside Church of God in Christ. This is Bishop T. Dog. So today's sermon is going to be talking about doing the most. Oh, it got quiet in here now.
Amen.
Oh, it's quiet now.
Amen.
Y'all want to street dance, but you don't want to praise dance.
Right,
Huh?
Pastor.
Y'all dance in the club, but don't want to dance in church. But the parents is not bringing their kids in. The kids showing not. The kids doing a little too much. Son, what you want? Try to preach, huh?
Excuse me, Pastor. I don't mean no disrespect, but I think I speak for everybody in the congregation when I say we have no idea what you're talking about.
See, that's the problem now. You're not listening. I tell you what, if you think you can do better than I can, come up here and do it yourself.
Mr. No compromise in the building. Swag so on fire, set fire to the ceiling. Put your hands in the air if you feeling this, cause I'm about to set it out to the picket. Boy, I got time to play. See, boy, I live this. You can catch me. Getting that work, but about my father. Church too concerned about the beat. They don't listen to the lyrics. They trying to put me in the box. Tell me they don't wanna hear it. I'm just trying to reach the youth. Give us something that they can listen to. Try to give us something good for their soul. Call it chicken noodle soup. See, I've been there and I done that. Trying to save them for them landmines. Yeah, the devil's on the move. Yeah, homie, it's game time. I refuse to turn down. I'm on good like Monopoly. Two turned up, one turned down. Yeah, you can't stop me. Turn down. Turn down. Turn down. I don't really wanna turn down. Turn down. Turn down. Turn down. I don't really wanna turn down. Can't stop and I won't 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 turn down. Turn down. Turn down. Turn down. I don't really wanna turn this is what I bleed. In my mouth, yeah, continually. It's my lifestyle, it's daily. Let me give you some clarity. Why the stinking devil, he tired of me. Won't catch me with my head low. Depressed and stressed, that's no go. Not bothered by the status quo. I won't be part of that puppet show. Got victory in Jesus. So turn up when we see ya. I know you got some reason. Praising him in season. See, I can't turn down. So watch me, hey, get down. Praising the roof off this place. Don't mind me, just give me some space. Go in, don't you hesitate. Praise him in his holy place. See, I can't turn down. So watch me, get down. See, I can't turn down. So watch me, hey, get down. Turn down. Turn down. Turn down. I don't really wanna turn down. Turn down. Turn down. Turn down. I don't really wanna turn down. Can't stop and I won't 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 turn down. Turn down. Turn down. Turn down. I don't really wanna turn down. Turn down. Turn down. Turn down. I don't really wanna turn down. I am the way, the truth, the light. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. The way, truth, and life, Jesus Christ. God came in the flesh once he comes again. How long will his people keep rejecting him? How much more does he have to endure while you're testing him? Why don't you rest in him? Why you keep wrestling with my angel set? You better just repent, there ain't that much time left. And I don't wanna see you go down that road, you know it leads to death. There's so many on they wait, why don't you change directions? Let the word of God be your GPS, and he will show you the way. Call on his name and be saved. I ain't saying that it's gonna be easy. Matter of fact, it might be just as hard, but at least you'll have God on your side when it comes time. For what? You don't know this is war, and before you know, it's gonna all be over. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. This is serious now that you feeling me. Yeah, I'ma speak the truth. It's about to hit you like 100 proof, and the spirit's proof. Ain't that enough for you? How about his love for you? Y'all acting too cool, he shed his blood for you. See you too comfortable, this shouldn't be old news. Yeah, he made me brand new, and so I can't keep doing what I was doing like it's all good. I see it just won't do, because he lives in me, just like he lives in you. Jesus, I gotta live for you, so I ain't doing what I want to. Yo, I'm doing what I got to, and you ain't gonna stop me. What you think I'ma stop now? Dude, he's on top now. You just a Christ hater, you better stop hating. I keep on patiently waiting, cause I'ma take it from Satan. You better watch what you're saying to me. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. The devil think he's slick, and you know he really is. Slick enough that he can trick 95% of Christians I know don't even know they rolling with him like they was homies. Meanwhile, Christ is the one they claiming to represent, but he the one that's getting left out the game while they busy picking devils on their team. Can't believe what I've been seeing. They don't wanna hear it, but they gon' feel it when it all flip. Don't say I didn't tell it like it is, and still I won't quit. I'ma keep on going till I can't no more. Till I'm dying on that cross and it's finished, I'ma let y'all know what the saith the Lord. And you can call it what you want, but I just really wanna know who's really down for the cause, ready to die for the Lord. Is it about what you want? Is it about what he's done? This ain't about just hanging out and having fun. You must be kidding me. How many more gotta die for y'all to see he came to live in me? Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. He is the way and he's Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Please allow us to introduce you to one of the graduates of our YEP program.
Hi, I'm Sandra B. I live in Michigan. And yep, I'm an author.
YEP, Youth Entrepreneur Author Program. Our goal is to initiate literacy in students and lead them to entrepreneurship through authorship. Our mission is to identify and invite organizations to participate in this program. Students participate in virtual writing workshops where they are encouraged to write their stories and provide reviews of stories read. We ask you to support our youth. For a donation of only $50, your company or organization will be mentioned as a youth supporter in the next audiobook. Send an email to yepI'mAnAuthor@gmail.com to provide a scholarship for a young person to participate.
Yep, I'm an author.
Proceeds are accepted and disbursed by NGB Productions. And now, these students are authors and entrepreneurs. Follow us online. Just search for Yep, I'm an Author on Facebook. Use the hashtag Yep, I'm an Author. Or call 407-914-6519. That's 407-914-6519 for more information. This program is sponsored in part by NGB Productions.
Yep, I'm an author.
I know a little bit about that author. Yes, I do. I don't know if you noticed, but she looks a little bit like me. That is my own baby, Sandra B. She is an author. She is starting. Thank you for that applause, Miss Producer. She has been a voice actress. She is an author. She's always writing little stories. It's so amazing to me. And she has the capacity to learn a speech or any type of introduction so quickly and seamlessly. I just don't know where she gets it from. But yes, that is my author, Sandra B. She started middle school this year, and I'm just so proud of her. She has shown already that this year is going to be a fantastic one for her. And I just love her. She is who I was on the 360 with, Memorable Expressions.
Wow.
She is my baby, definitely my little twin. And
She's
I just,
beautiful.
I remember when I was pregnant, I asked some older mothers, what types of things should I do to instill that I have an intelligent baby, And one just straight face told me, read. read to her. And so I started reading while she was still in the womb, and she loves to read now. She tests so high above her grade whenever she tests in reading, and she's articulate. I could go on and on. I really could.
That's okay. Go on and on. Yes, that's your baby.
I love it. It's really something, considering she was a product of what the doctors call a geriatric pregnancy. I mean, which I've learned that after the age of 35, I believe, then you're considered a geriatric pregnancy and more high risk. And I know I definitely was high risk, but I wouldn't change it for the world. She changed my life. She really did.
Yes.
She did. So tell me about your business. What made you decide? Oh, speaking of 360. What made you decide to jump on board with the 360 photo booth?
Well, make a long story short, I worked for Walmart for 19 years. I was a store manager assistant, and so 5 years ago they let over 2,000 of us go that was making $69,000 to $79,000 go. And so I started working at Michael's, and for 4 years, and God spoke to me to step out on faith. And so that's when my last year was the first year I came to the Alopecia event, and I saw the 360. And when I walked by, I was like, that is for me. That is mine. And so, a month later, it was pregnant to me. Yes, wow. God blessed me with it.
Oh, that is such a blessing. And here in next month, it'll be a year. That is so
yes, ma'am.
great.
On the 10th. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. I tell you, I think we in our vanity will never be rid of some type of photography. I mean, you see the cavemen scribbling on the wall with their chipping. We definitely have always adored being able to see ourselves. And in this world of technology and social media, it's just even more so. Everybody wants to have a picture to post or a video. So I just love the 360.
And the thing is that everyone is used to doing the selfie. Now you get a 360, the whole view of you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And, I was intrigued at the fact you see it and you think that the person is turning on the little stand that they're on, but that's not it. It's a wide arm. Yes, ma'am. Yes. I have had a couple of experiences mainly at wedding receptions, but I think that is something that can be expanded for so many different things. I have often thought that designers or people who even makeup artists could utilize the 360. Can you imagine?
Additional add-on to my business is that I'm doing around the world 360 promotion. Like you say, for example, that you promote your phones and you have a little booth and you have your everything that your brand. And you want to promote it 360 way. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. That is great. I mean, that can be so wonderful because it gives you different angles. It can give you the opportunity to see what, like if it's a phone, you can see what the screen looks like, or things like that to learn before you purchase it.
Yes.
Oh, I see that someone has made the comment 360 could be at a high school graduation and retirement parties. Now, I don't know about a retirement party.
It can be at all type of parties.
I mean, I know that the person isn't moving, but well, you're right. It can be at all types of parties. I mean, it's not like when you retire. I mean, some people retire early in their early 60s, and that is not old.
Well, I think it's a lady in Orlando. She does divorce parties.
Oh, now that is a reason to celebrate. I have never gone through a divorce, but it definitely is a reason to celebrate. I know someone who is in a divorce proceeding right now, and we're just believing God that we have a lot to celebrate once that is over. So
Yes, ma'am.
maybe I definitely will. I will. I mean, it turns your life around.
Yes,
That can be
ma'am.
that can be the title of the divorce party. Hey, come and get on our 360. Your life is turning around.
I
Oh my
love
gosh,
it.
that is awesome. Yes, so
Yeah.
we are just beginning this 24-hour sickle cell marathon for the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association. The ways to donate are scrolling at the bottom of your screen via Zelle 386-795-0965, Cash App $Long Sickle, PayPal Levi Long Sickle at gmail.com. And of course, if you are still antiquated and write checks, you can make them out to the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association. Your tax deductible donation, which we all need, is something that is definitely going to be utilized to help members of the society who are family members of sickle cell survivors, or even some of the patients who are suffering with sickle cell right now. And we are again joined by our wonderful host, Miss Kiana Hargret. Hargret? Am I
Hello,
saying your last
hello,
name?
hello.
All right. I don't wanna. Gosh, silly me. I don't think I have asked why the Levi Long Association is called the Levi Long Association. And I do see that Long is in your name. So can you give
Yes.
us a little information about why your nonprofit is called
I
the
love
Levi
the
Long
clapping out of
Association?
hands.
We love that clapping.
Yes. So Levi Long was my grandfather, my mom's dad. And
Okay.
so I remember when I worked for the local Sickle Cell Association. So when you work for an association that's in your area, I didn't want to be like just what's the word I want to use? I didn't just want to be just attached to just Daytona or Volusia County. I wanted to be able to go worldwide. And I was
Yes.
like, oh Lord, what should I name my organization? He said, Levi Long Sickle Cell.
I
And
love
Wow.
so this is
it.
for anybody who wants to do a business. When you want to do your business, you get a name and you can go on freelogo.com. That's where I got my logo from for free. You put in what all you want to do with your logo, whatever you want to do with your business. And that app, that it creates you a logo and you can choose to take that one, or they give you like hundreds to choose from. And that's
Wow.
how I got my logo. And then after that, I attached it to the EIN. You all know you have to do the EIN process
Yeah.
no matter what state you're in. In
Mm-hmm.
Florida, it's called Sunbiz. And you
Mm-hmm.
just go from there. And I
Yeah.
hope this is encouraging people who have been thinking about doing their own business, because I push entrepreneurship because there's so much favor and open doors for businesses. Remember
Yes.
when the PPP happened? The only people
Yes,
that were able to get that were people that own businesses.
that's
When
Yeah.
right.
money trickled down from the government, because America is really for business owners.
Mm-hmm.
Republicans, they're really
Uh-huh.
for business owners. And since we
Mm-hmm.
know this is a Republican country, to line up with the hierarchy of the country, we need to be business owners. And we're so intelligent and smart. I
Yeah.
push. I'm so proud of you, Memorable Expressions, for listening to the Lord and stepping out on faith. I
Yes.
Yes.
salute you.
Yes.
Hands clap, 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 clap.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
so
Yes.
proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm
Yes.
very
Thank
proud of
you.
you.
Proud of you
Yes.
Yes.
too.
That is wonderful. And it's something
So
I just
that's where the
realized
name came
your
from.
logo is the sickle cell.
Yes. I
Yeah.
saw
Yes.
so many
I noticed
logos.
that.
That.
I
Wow.
saw, yeah, I saw so many logos to choose from, but none of them hit home for me but that one. I'm plain
Yes.
Jane. I'm so
Mhm.
plain. I don't need anything extravagant. I don't need all these, nothing just extra. I just needed it to make a statement and say what it meant, and that's it.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. And it's, I just learned what the sickle cell looks like while we've been
me
here. And
too.
so
Me
then,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the
So
crescent
it's needed
moon.
that.
There go those
Yes.
hands.
Oh,
There they go.
yes. Yes. Our applause. Yeah.
I love it.
I love it. I love it.
Oh
We're
my
learning so much. Oh, another 360 drop there, Memorable expressions gave us that same 360 drop. But we are in
God.
our, let's see, second hour. We're in our second hour of the 24-hour Levi Long Sickle Cell 24-hour, um, what is it? Oh my gosh. What's the word I'm looking for?
24 hours.
What were
24
you saying?
hour. I was
Telethon.
just thinking. Yes, that telethon. Thank you.
Telethon.
How could I forget that? When I think of telethons, I think of Jerry Lewis when I was a kid, and he would
Yes.
start. You all
Yes.
remember Jerry Lewis? He would
I
start.
do. I think we're close in age. Because he's talking to my talk.
Yeah,
I think we're close in
we are.
age.
Yeah. So Jerry Lewis, he would come out with all his rat pack, and he would be, and then by that 23rd, 24th hour, oh Lord, Jerry started
And
looking
then he changed
good.
clothes. I think, because I was thinking about doing that. I love doing stuff like that. I was going to change my clothes. Look at
Well,
this, the Queen
that's
Bee.
right. You can change. That's no problem. But Jerry was starting. He would be smoking on stage. We can't do that anymore. He
Yeah.
would
Of
be
course
on
not.
stage smoking. His hair would be all disheveled. His poor tie would be off, and in fact, he would just be
It's
sitting on the
time to
stage
go,
like,
y'all.
"Oh Lord, all right, let's see how much we've gathered for these children now."
And I was going to do that thermometer. You know how some churches have a thermometer when they have their building fund, and they
Yes,
put the money
yes.
on it and
It
they
just
color
goes
it
up.
in.
Yes.
Yep. I was
Yes.
gonna do
I
that. Maybe we'll do
remember
it on our
that.
next break and see how much. I
Yes,
haven't
that
looked at
would be
anything to see if
great.
anything's come in.
Yes,
Yes, and then so put our gold at
definitely.
the top and
Yeah.
then shade in with red. Yep.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
yes, that
Uh-huh.
would be great.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
So guys,
okay.
this picture we have is shows an unaffected carrier father. So it's just the statistical numbers of sickle cell and how it's carried from the father and the mother, right? So you have the father's trait and you have the mother's trait. And it's kind of confusing because it has all these lines going to and fro. But the story stays the same. The only way you can contract this disease is from the mother and the father. That's it. It could be any picture, it could be elephants, it could be all kind of whatever the pictures are, it's still the story is the same. The only way you can contract this disease is if it's from your mom and your dad.
Wow.
So this is an array of pictures. All I do is sit and just post pictures of sickle cell to keep the public reminded of this month. When I went to the commission's meeting on um, Wednesday night, the first thing I said was, "It's September. It's Sickle Cell Awareness Month," and I
Yes.
know a lot of people. This is me telling the commissioners. I know people are ready to go to October to cancer awareness, but we can't bypass September, which is Sickle Cell
That's
Awareness
right.
Month.
Yes,
That's
most
right.
definitely.
And, so these pictures are just a part of me. Levi Long Sickle Cell Association is me. I'm Levi Long Sickle Cell Association because when you have your business, you have your passion, that's you. You are
Yeah.
your passion. You are your business. You make
Yeah.
it your own and you handle it, the way you do, the best way, which is what we do. And
Yes.
that's what it is.
Most definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really helps when you have a passion for something. And since this was your
Yes.
paternal grandfather, it definitely helps to have some type of association. Just I was telling memorable expressions that my daughter, who was featured in one of the video breaks for her author contributions. When I was told I was pregnant at 40, then my doctor, labeled me that wonderful geriatric pregnancy. And it just sounds so terrible. And as time went on, I believe I was in my second month of pregnancy, and he said, well, we're going to have to make a choice. If you continue with this pregnancy, either you won't make it or the baby won't make it. So you need to make a choice.
Oh,
And I had lost some children in the past. I had had a few miscarriages. And he actually said to me, and, there are some cultures that are in the medical field, and they don't have the best bedside manner. I will just say that they're blunt. They're not empathetic. They're blunt, and just leave it at that. But he said to me, "Well, this wouldn't be the first baby you've lost. So, make a choice
Mm-mm.
between your life or the baby's life." And I said, "It is your job to make sure I don't have to make that choice. So
That's
whatever
it.
you have to do, you gonna say one of us, and I'm not
That's
gonna make
it.
the choice. It's your job. You took an oath to do that,
But
and
but
clearly." We're both here to tell the story. So yeah,
God.
it truly helps when you have a passion. Yes.
Oh, that was an incredible story. That was,
Thank
I'm just,
Yes.
you.
because I'm thinking
Yes.
about, I think Kiana maybe told me this story about a woman who, no, it was in the video, a woman who the doctor told her about the test to determine if the child was going to have sickle cell. And she said, well, I don't need to take the test because even if they do have sickle cell, I'm going to keep
I'm
it.
keeping them. That's
She
right.
So,
encouraged my children's grandmother to abort her baby. They auntie. And their auntie
Mm-hmm.
right.
doesn't, she came out with nothing. They didn't even
Wow.
limit. Now I remember, and I had to step in. When I went with one of my clients to Halifax, she was pregnant. And you know what the nurse had audacity to say to her? This is why we don't want y'all to have babies anyway. She
What?
sure did. I said, that is
Mm,
not your job.
mm, mm,
You do not
mm.
tell a sickle cell client that they're not supposed to have a baby. Because a lot of people overstep their boundaries in whatever aspect. Especially who are you? You don't
Right.
tell that. And guess what? She has two beautiful children.
Mm.
The boy, the oldest, he's a boy. He's such an encourager. He's 4. I hope she bring him on the show next weekend or even tomorrow. But he is so smart. He encourages his mommy. He knows how to call 911 if she's having a crisis.
Oh
So
wow.
oh my goodness, I'm so she has two, a boy and a girl,
Won't
Mm.
and
God
they're
do it?
beautiful children.
Yes, he
Yes,
will. Yes, he
Won't he do
will.
it?
Every
That is
time.
good.
Yes.
That is good.
Yes.
and
Okay,
I
we
want to
got
see if she
some
can come on tomorrow.
announcements for you. We got some announcements about some donations. I
Oh, but that's
just
a
received,
blessing.
I know, I just received a message from Pastor Mary Hope in St. Augustine, Florida. We saw her commercial earlier about Sunday service on the 1st and the 3rd of the month. She has messaged me and said that she is donating $25
That's a
from.
blessing. Thank you, Pastor
Yes.
Hope.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Pastor
Pastor
Hope.
Mary. Yes.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Yes. That is
There
a
you go.
Yes.
blessing.
And so Angie B Productions promised to match any donation that came in tonight. So I'll be adding $25 to that. So now we have $50
All
in
All
the
right.
right, that's awesome.
That is a blessing. Yes, we are working towards that goal of $2,000. And of course, that goal can be met and exceeded. And we
Yes.
welcome any business that has the desire of being able to bless these patients and families who are living with this disease to match the donations that are being made this evening or through this 24-hour period. If you're able to do that, if you are a corporation and you have that clearance, I know it's the weekend, but maybe you have your CFO's phone number and you can call them and say, hey, this is a worthy cause. So many people are suffering with sickle cell, and
Mm.
just because it hasn't touched your family doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And we are just praying that you want to donate. Again, it is tax deductible. We are in September. It will be time to start getting those receipts together for the year. May as well include a nice tax deductible donation. Right,
Mhm.
Miss Kiana?
Yes, ma'am. And you receive a 501c3 tax deductible receipt. Yes, you can.
Yes, that is always
And
great.
just like
now.
when you have a job and you do something you could put to your resume, it's always nice to say, I'm a 501c3 donor. I
Yes.
donate to 501c3 organizations. That sounds good anywhere.
Mhm. Mm-hmm.
All
It
right, now we
does.
have another challenge. The challenge has come from the person says, I challenge every church to make a donation. Apostle G. That was the
Mm.
text message. So we encourage everybody to text somebody at your church and
Excuse me.
make a donation in the name of your church.
Mm.
And Apostle G has instigated that challenge. I know
All
back in
right.
January, Kiana, we had the challenge of the authors. If you're an author,
Yes. Now
donate
it's the
something. And
churches. Yes.
oh my goodness, that was great. So I guess this time around, it's going to be the challenge of the churches.
Yes.
Make
Yes.
the biggest and best donation. So that is good. And you did say earlier that we will be back next weekend
Yes.
uh, to close out Sickle Cell Awareness Month and Alopecia Awareness Month. So
Yes.
even if you don't see your pastor or the head of the trustee department till Sunday, let them know they can make a donation next Friday and Saturday, and it will count for the challenge. Now, I'm asking everyone to send a text message with a number. It's about time to pull the drawing for the gift card. Kiana went
Yes.
and picked the gift card today. She's going to
Yes.
tell us about it. But in order to win the gift card, you need to send a text to the number at the bottom of the screen. Then we're going to have our special guest pick a number. And if your number is picked, you will get the prize. So send a
Now
text.
let's make sure we differentiate. The number to text is 407
Yeah.
914
Yeah.
6519. And the
Thank you.
reason I'm
Thank
saying that is because, there's a Zelle phone number that is also scrolling across the bottom, 386 795 0965.
Right.
So we just want to make sure that for
Yes.
this gift card, and what is, where's the gift card to, Sister Kiana?
you.
So the gift card is from it's right here. And let me say the amount first.
Okay.
The amount of the gift card is $99 and it's for a signature facial.
Oh,
Yes, and it's at Emerald Lux Med Spa.
oh, now is that a nationwide spa or is that based in Florida?
So I know this location that gave us the gift card is located in DeBerry, Florida, which is on the other side of the land.
Okay.
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 And she says you have until November 1st to book the appointment for it. And there they also do things like you can lose 15 to 30 pounds in 3 months. They do something called Ozempic or Wegovy one-time week injection. So they have a lot of things to offer. And it's a medical spa. So this is a $99 signature facial, and it's a gift certificate. And so she gave it to me to put someone's name on it, whoever the winner is. I can just put their name on it.
Oh, wow. All
Yes.
right. So, if you want to win the gift card, now do you have to make a donation in order to be in the drawing for the gift card? I think a $5 donation in order to be in the drawing for the gift card would be pretty good. What do you ladies
Tanya,
think?
I
you're
think
right.
that'd be
Somebody
cool because
did.
it's almost
Yeah,
a
just
hundred
text.
dollars.
Somebody just text and said you need to have people text to win after they've made their donation.
That's
Yes, we
right.
ain't
Okay.
giving that away for free.
With a minimum
Thank
of $5, it'd be wonderful.
thank you,
Eh,
Sonia. Thank
Let
you.
me see
Thank
what I
you.
have in my cash app, you
I,
know.
Memorable
Oh
expressions.
boy.
I am so grateful. I know I'm off
Yes.
camera. I know I still sound horrible. I know I missed you guys last weekend at the beauty bazaar, but I was just in tears when you said that you had joined us last year and the Lord spoke to you and I know people are still talking about what a great time they had
yes.
last weekend.
Yeah.
So thank you, thank you, thank you. We pray blessings upon you, and we want to thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah.
Because
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
could have done anything else, anything else.
And I am
We
learning a lot about sickle cell. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Well, I loved it when you said, I don't know much about it, but I could look something up if you want me to. And I said, you're the perfect guest. We just come with questions. Just come.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
please feel free to come back tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. We'll be on live. You can pop in again and tell us about what you learned. And be sure that everyone share this link on their timeline. I know that we're broadcasting live on Twitter. You can just search for Angie B Tour, ANGIEBEE Tour. We're also streaming on YouTube with Live with Evangelist Angie B. You can search for Angie B Presents on Facebook and Angie B Productions on Facebook, and just share it. And if you're watching the replay, please add hashtag replay so that we'll know. And we're very, very, very grateful, very grateful. Okay, the text messages are coming in. So we're going to say, 5 more minutes. Make your donation and send your text message to the number on the screen to win a gift card. And we're going to double check to be sure you've made a donation first before you win. Before you win. I just want to thank my pastor, Mary Hope. Her donation has come in, and she is so faithful and grateful out in St. Augustine, Florida. She joined us last weekend at the Beauty Bazaar. She was in all white. And then on Sunday, we attended service, and the church made a $125 donation to Alopecia Awareness Month. And I'm so grateful. She had it in the sermon, and it was just, where's my applause button?
Yeah, applause.
I love that button. I really love that button. So because of her donation, she spread awareness in the pulpit to share, and we all know, the church has a high population of women, and wherever you got a high population of women, you're gonna have a high population of folks with alopecia, one way or another. So I am grateful for that. And now that we're sharing the month, Kiana, between alopecia and yes, and I love to share. My children say I love to share.
We love to share. So you get 2 weekends. You get this weekend and that weekend. So our final shout outs for the production team. Got to give a shout out to DJ Shaheem for our background music. I know sometimes we don't even really pay attention to it in the background, but when you watch the replay and see how the music just fits with the theme when we're praying and little things like that. Thank you, Shaheem, for your beautiful soundtrack. Thank you. I want to thank the Christian rap artists that made a way out of no way. Back in January, Kiana needed to raise $800 to purchase testing kits so she could test these college students. Stuff happened when you're at college. Yeah. At least if you know if you know something, you can do a little better. So she came to us and said, I need $800. And I said, okay, how am I going to fill 24 hours? I ain't got Jerry Lewis and his cigarette smoking. And you're absolutely right. I'm like, we ain't got, but we had testimonies. We had parents that came on and shared their stories. We had a young woman who had been in crisis earlier that day who came on and she shared her story. Now, unfortunately, tomorrow we're going to be sharing just tributes from people that have lost loved ones. And another question I did not put up on the screen yet, Kiana, and I know we're wrapping up for 10 o'clock, but somebody wants to know, Is it fatal? Is sickle cell fatal? Put that on your list of stuff to talk about tomorrow, Kiana. Yes, sickle cell kills. It is fatal. It
does.
can be.
Sister Kiana shared a story about a young lady who was 16 who just passed away from sickle cell. So it definitely can affect no matter what age, what culture. It's not just the stigma of this is something within the Black community. That's not true. Because as we all know, down through the years, there definitely has been some intermingling of different cultures, and no one knows where the sickle cell trait came from, how it originated. It just was discovered in Africa. Is that correct, Sister Kiana?
Actually, it came from the disease malaria.
And
malaria it derives from malaria.
Okay, yeah, and that just, unfortunately, malaria can be anywhere. Just as we've all learned through this global pandemic that we just lived through, that we've all lived through. Amen. Because we're here to talk about it now. So now,
I may not have much of a voice.
That's
but
right.
I'm still
That's
here
right.
to talk about it. Yes. Testimony to share. I went to Texas first of the month for Alopecia Awareness Month tour. And before I could leave, I ended up at the hospital on the 6th with what I thought was an ear infection. And I wasn't going to get on the plane, with my ear hurting. So I went to the hospital and they said, we're going to test for everything. I said, just look at my ear and give me something for it, because I'm flying out in a couple of days. I got to get back to my event in Daytona, right? And they said, well, you have bacterial pneumonia, you have strep throat, you have an ear infection, and you tested positive for COVID. You need to isolate. You can't leave on the 11th. Now, I was already a little hesitant about flying on September 11th, but God got right. So I had to self-isolate. Praise God. My best friend self-isolated me in her home, but then I got worse. Had to go back to the hospital, and they kept me. And when you are kept in the hospital for any reason, you truly need an advocate. I could not breathe, but I cannot imagine being in pain and sickle cell crisis and not have an advocate to say they are not drug seeking. I cannot imagine what they must be going through. So I kept testing positive. Praise God. Let me see. Today the 22nd. I think on the 20th I finally tested negative.
Amen.
But yes. But that's why I could not be at the Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar. I stayed in the hotel and continued. I tried to come down to the workshop, and Evangelist Tahara put me right back to bed.
Yes, she did.
That's where I met Embellish. I met her last at I came and I met her there.
Right. You showed up. You were texting just as I was trying to get back into bed to say, okay, I'm here. And I'm like, call to her because I don't know what's going on. So, Sonia, thank you for that. Yes, we have survived, and we are continuing to survive the pandemic. I'm in that funny area where I've got asthma, so there's stuff that's complicated. But now I'm closer to 60 than Kiana is closer to 50. So
I am too. I am too.
Yeah. So yesterday I went to get checked, and they're like, "Oh, it's a sinus infection, and your ear infection never cleared up, and you kind of." So I appreciate you, Kiana, for giving me a reason to get out of bed today and be a part of this. We do have a couple more donations that have come in. One donation said, do not add my name to the drawing. Put Kiana in there. She deserves it.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
That is so funny. They're going to clap in their hands. I have one. I got an email. It was a donation from a Sonia Bennett.
Oh,
Yep, Tanya Bennett. And then, yep, and she named her church, Beth Eden
oh,
Church. It came in, all that came in my email.
okay, that's
Amen.
good. So
Amen.
add $25 to that
Yes.
from Pastor Mary Hope in St. Augustine, and add $25 to that from NGB Productions. So we up to what, about $75?
Woo,
You
woo,
have
let's
to
go
keep it.
then.
You
Let's
have
see
to
if we
write
can.
that down and keep that tally, Angie.
Yeah, I'm
Because
gonna put
we
it
don't
in
have
the.
the. Yeah,
I'm gonna put
Kiana
it.
is gonna make
The
a
art
little,
thing.
yes, the
Yeah,
cross
because
it
we got to
off.
make the, I'm going to make the thing. Yes, I'm going to
Yes,
make it.
yes, yeah, with little red sickle cells.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
going to be, oh, that would be so
I know.
cool.
I love it.
And and I got a nice whiteboard. I'm doing it
Yes,
so I can't wait till tomorrow to show it. Yes. Yes. It's gonna look like my Levi Long, the crescent moon.
yes,
And it's gonna be
Yeah.
getting
yes.
colored up, and you're gonna
Yeah.
see how full we can make the crescent.
Oh, that's
Yes.
beautiful. That is
That was a good
beautiful.
idea.
Yes.
Thank you. That was a great
I
idea.
Thank
won't
Yes,
you.
be I
ma'am.
won't be attending tomorrow. I'll be at
Okay.
Midtown Cafe doing an event tomorrow, so I'm gonna miss you guys.
So
Oh.
we start at 10, but I'm gonna pop up over there real quick at 9.
There you go. I will
Because
see
Mayor
you.
Henry has said, and I shared his post, the first 15 people that come, no, I think he said the first 100 people that come, he's giving a $15 free meal. So get there.
Okay.
Oh.
Because I'm going to go, and I'm going to have them to hold my meal to next week when I come.
Well, I will be a vendor there tomorrow. So
Oh, that's going to be so awesome. I had a
yeah.
birthday party there last year. This
Oh,
time last year, I had my birthday party at their establishment.
Oh well,
Yep.
wow.
and tomorrow is your birthday, so you can
And
get
tomorrow's
on
my
the
birthday, so I'm
360.
definitely going to go early. I
Oh
got to go early in
yes,
the morning.
So come down to
awesome.
360.
Oh,
That would
yes. I'm coming. I'm going to get on it. Yes, ma'am.
that would be my birthday present to you.
Thank you so
Oh.
much. Okay. It don't take much
Amen.
for me. It don't take much for me.
Amen. Amen. We are almost out of time tonight, but Kiana, tell us some more about the certificate. When you went up there to meet the woman, what the place looked like? What you think?
So when I got there, I passed it the first time, and I had to do a U-turn, and then I turned in. So when I turned in, I went in 3 wrong doors, and I was glad to meet every person I went in their door. Because the first one I went into, it was the barbershop, because it has a sign by the street, and it had just one number, 58. So you don't know which one is which, until I opened the first door and I saw a big old boxer dog right there looking at me, and I said, "Hey, everybody, I'm looking for I said embellish. I think I used that word." And they said, "Oh, go down the sidewalk and it's on the right." And then I said, "Okay, thank you. Have a good weekend." Then the dog started coming to me. I said, "Okay, hi, doggy," and I closed the door. Then I went down the hall, down the sidewalk, like she said, to the right, and I went to the wrong one. And the lady was like, "No, they're right next door." So then I went inside and I saw her. She had people in front, so I just waited. And I said, "Hi, I'm here to get the card." She said, "Oh yes." So she filled it out. She gave it to me, and I said, "Thank you so much." And so then I got back on the aisle, came back this way, and was trying to get myself together to get on tonight.
Oh, that is awesome.
It was
That
worth it.
is
Listen, nothing is too hard for anything. I was driving back thinking what Miss Angie B said, "Is it too far?" And I'm thinking to myself while I'm driving back, anybody that drive anywhere, if they got to get something to get something
that's
done,
right. That's
Yes.
right.
it ain't
That's
nothing.
right.
Yes.
I would have went wherever. She gave us this card. I was so grateful. And the amount is $99. A
Yes.
Yes.
fingerprint facial.
Wow.
It didn't matter how far I had to go. I was going to get that
Yes.
Amen.
and say thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you. Yes.
Yes.
It's so great when businesses, and this is usually around the time that nonprofits start to look for donations. So I just encourage anyone to support a nonprofit. That should be all of our goal before the end of October, to just support a nonprofit, because of course we know that in October it's going to be all about breast cancer awareness,
Yes.
which
Yes.
definitely is something that's close to my family's heart. My grandmother and my great grandmother each lost a breast to cancer. So, before that big pink ribbon comes, I just encourage everyone to support a nonprofit. And why not this one? The Levi
Right,
Long Sickle Cell
right.
Association. The ways to donate are scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Electronic donations are the best way to donate. They're just easy.
Mhm.
However, you can write a check and send it to the Levi Long Sickle Cell. It can be made payable in that way. And then where would they send that check, Sister
I was
Kiana?
just getting ready to say if they do a check, they can mail it to. I was gonna say give it to Miss Angel B, but Miss Angel B, are you local?
She's in Jacksonville.
Because I
Yeah,
got to
I'm
Jacksonville. I got to go to Jacksonville on Sunday. So my Levi Long Sickle Cell Association, I have a team, and we go to the Jaguar Stadium on Sunday whenever they have a game. So I go to Jacksonville now for this football season.
All right. Well,
So if they have
definitely.
a check,
If
they
there
can give
are
it to Miss
some
Angel
people,
B.
that's right. If you have a check and you want to do that antiquated way of writing a check, which there's nothing wrong with that, with keeping a little log. You can make your check payable to the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association. And Angie, would you like to share your post office box?
Yeah, the P.O. Box in Ormond Beach, Florida, which is across the street from Daytona. So, but that is a P.O. Box 730073 Ormond. And I will.
Florida. What's the
Ormond
zip
Beach
code?
32173.
All right.
And I will get that up in just a minute. We are about to close out our live session, but we're still broadcasting overnight. And I want folks to know, because if you wake up at 2 a.m. and you're wondering, why we still live, we're going to be airing the January telethon in its entirety. So you will see Sonia again. She did a fabulous promotional video for us last December when we were promoting. Hey, we're going to be on. You'll see some sponsors and some participants that have since retired or left their business since then. But that just means we need more sponsors to come in. So just enjoy the broadcast. We'll be back on at 10 a.m. Well, if Kiana going to see the mayor at 9, she ain't going to be ready to get on the air till 11. So somebody will be...
I will come on at 10 and take that first hour so that Kiana can...
Where those clapping of those hands? Where those clapping of those hands?
Thank you.
Because I was trying to hurry to get all my free stuff for my birthday. You go to Denny's.
Yes,
I was trying to get my little free stuff before I came here to be complacent.
I understand. You need to get your meal.
Thank you so much. I love you so much.
Yes, no problem. That is
Thank
your
you. I
birthday.
appreciate you greatly.
So I have responded to all the text messages. A couple of people said I did not donate, but I will tomorrow.
All right.
Amen. Thank you.
One other person said, give my gift certificate. I'm speaking it into existence. Give my gift certificate to Kiana.
Oh, they so sweet. They just love me.
Yes.
That's a blessing.
It's your birthday present. There you go.
Thank y'all for my birthday gift. Yes. And I'll be right here. My cousin says, what are you doing for your birthday? My 24-hour telethon. He said, that is so good.
That is.
Yes.
That just goes back to that passion of being able to say, this is something that I believe in and I want to educate people about it. I mean, I definitely am going to call my doctor on Monday and see because I'm here in Michigan, but we have Quest Diagnostics and we also have LabCorp. So that's worth my doctor writing me a referral to go and get. I just want to know. I mean, I again don't know of it being in our bloodline, in my genetic bloodline. However, I don't know.
And And Sonia, I wanted to talk to you about this because I know we're bringing the Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar to Michigan.
I
Yes.
thought you were about to tell me something. I thought you just learned something. I wanted to tell you that we do have it, and what?
Sonia, Harry Chin is running our family. Sonia, Harry Chin. So get a good razor. But when we go to Michigan to do the beauty bazaar, I really can. I want you to come travel with us and do
I
some
want to come. You know why? I was just in Detroit, Michigan this year for the first time at my family reunion, and I didn't get my passport because a lot of people don't know Canada is right across the bridge from
Yes, it
Detroit.
is. Yes,
So
it
I
is.
thought Canada. When you see the map, I'm thinking Canada's way up there at the top of the world.
I didn't know that.
It's right across the bridge from Detroit. So
It
yes,
is.
I'm coming because I will have my passport and I'm coming because
Yeah,
I want to go
it's
to
like
Canada.
the difference between Ormond and
Oh my gosh,
Daytona.
I had
You
so
go
much
across
fun.
the
We rode the bicycles through the
uh-huh.
city.
Yeah.
I had a good
Whoa.
time in Detroit. We stayed at the NBC Suites.
Oh,
Yes, we
nice.
went to that park by the pier. That's where
Yeah,
we had
yeah.
our family picnic. Yes, I
Oh,
enjoyed it. Yes,
yes.
I
Oh,
did.
that is
I
awesome.
can't wait to
Yeah.
come back to your neck of the woods, and I can see
All
my family because I
right.
love them. Yes, and
That
they're
is
coming here
awesome.
next year. I'm hosting a family reunion next year here in
Oh, okay.
Daytona.
Oh,
Yes,
Okay.
I'll have to come so I can see my family.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That sounds
Yes,
great.
that is
Sounds great.
awesome.
I'm
Okay,
That
excited.
is
When
so
is
guys.
the bazaar?
beautiful.
When is
We'll
it?
announce it.
Okay,
We'll
okay,
announce it.
okay.
We're trying to do it in the summer,
Yes.
like July, because kids with alopecia can't participate in September because it's back to school.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if we can bring it to them, let them do like a mini little get dressed up type thing. We're gonna
Oh, that would be so cool.
yeah. Because how many times do they get dressed up
Right,
and to see some other kids that look like them. Now, the
right.
National Alopecia Areata Foundation has an annual convention where kids and families from all around the world can come. However, the price is a little steep. So when you're looking at a family going and it's a per person and their own travel and their own hotel, it can be quite challenging. So if we can bring something to them, that would work out well. So Levi Long, get ready to come on and
Whoop,
sign
whoop.
that the school that your church is doing something with. Maybe they can all come out and get tested too. Because just like 11-year-olds don't know. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you don't remember the name of that school. Mary McLeod Bethune Elementary School.
I would never forget the name of that
Yes,
school.
yes, I know you will.
I would never forget the name of
Yes,
that school.
All right,
yes,
we're gonna get
my
Kiana
church
a special
adopts
appearance.
that school.
Oh
Yes,
my
yes,
God, that
that
is
is
so
awesome.
cool.
Yes.
All
So
right, so
that is
my
great.
final announcement before I get out of here is that it has the vote has come in. Kiana, you may enjoy that gift certificate as your birthday present.
Oh, that is so sweet. Thank y'all so
That
much.
is
Who would have known I would
great.
wait there to get something for me?
Yes. Wow. Oh, that is such a blessing.
That
Yes.
is a
Happy
blessing.
birthday.
And then
Thank
Happy
for
you. God knows
everyone,
in
birthday.
heaven I need a facial.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
for everyone that sent in a text with their numbers, I see somebody was number 48 and a couple other numbers. I will be texting you back tonight. We will email you a copy of the new electronic magazine, Bold, Beautiful, and Bald, online.
Oh,
All right. All
woo-hoo.
right.
Hand clap, hand clap.
Woo!
Yes.
This
Yes.
is the visual
Yes.
of the magazine, but we'll email you the official copy. So I'm gonna let
That's
you see
nice.
this video, and then we'll be back with closing comments from everybody.
All right.
Okay.
on the track.
Wow, that was amazing. I've not seen. Oh, okay. That was a great promo there for Angie B Productions, of which I am very familiar with. However, I have not seen that opening. I love it. I love it. Our wonderful producer, Angie B, the evangelist, Angie
Yes.
B. And we thank you for assisting in this 24-hour telethon for the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association. We will be running pre-recordings and other videos to educate and to entertain you through the night. We are going to close out, and we just want to remind you that your donations are tax deductible, as the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association is a 501c3 IRS recognized charity. And with this being the last quarter of the year, we all need those tax deductions. And if you get yours in this weekend, your donation via Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, or the antiquated but still recognized writing a check, then you will receive a receipt from the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association that can be used towards your taxes. And we all need that. So, of course, let's hear some final words of the night for our pre-birthday girl, Sister Kiana Hargret. Uh-oh, you're on mute.
I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for those that gave, those that are still going to give, those that will be able to rise up, throughout the night and look at the pre-recorded
Yes.
telethon that we had in January. I know I'll be watching it, one eye open, one eye closed through the night watching. So I really thank you all. And I thank you all so much just for your belief in my organization, your belief in me as I journey in this venture. This is a real life venture for those that are dealing and living with this inherited disease. So keep me in your prayers that I stay healthy physically, that I can continue to travel and advocate on behalf of those that can't advocate on them for themselves.
Yes. And just as a member of the community, I just want to thank you for your passion, your education, and your desire to help those that are afflicted with this disease. As I said, I have learned more during these telethons than I've ever known about sickle cell. It just wasn't something that has affected me, but I encourage everyone to get tested. I do believe that this is something that we need to learn about and possibly snuff out. I know that not everyone can get the stem cell donation. Well, not donation, the $39,000 stem cell surgery. Everyone can't get that. However, I look forward to tomorrow you telling us a little bit more about the stem cell
Patches,
stickers, patches
yes.
that you have, and I'm sure that people will just understand that their donation goes towards helping these patients, just like for St. Jude or any other charity that is working to find out exactly how they can help these patients and the families and things of that nature. So just thank you, Miss Kiana. I really respect this charity, and I pray that you reach your $2,000 goal. We're getting there. We're in these first 3 hours. We've made a little bit of a footstep, and I pray that your birthday starts wonderfully tomorrow. And whoop, whoop. 4-7. So if you could just close us out with prayer, and we will say goodnight for the night.
Okay, Lord, we thank you so much for this first part of this telethon. Thank you so much for those that were able to give, those that are willing to give, oh God, through the night and even on tomorrow. Thank you for those that are living in this walk, in this body of those that are with sickle cell. Bless them, oh God. Keep them. Those that are even at the hospital right now, give compassion. Touch the hearts of the doctors, that they will sympathize with them, that they won't be harsh with them, that they will understand that the pain that is residing in their body is real and not a pretense. Thank you for this night, and I appreciate you kindly for all that you do. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. And our producer, evangelist Angie B.
Woo, woo.
Do you have any closing
I love
remarks?
her.
Yes, she is great. Do you have any closing remarks, Angie B? We know she is trying to save her voice.
Yes.
All
And
right.
so
People that are able to learn, people are able to be educated, people are able to reciprocate the education that we learn. So when you learn it, you reciprocate it and you share with others.
So 2 parents with a trait could have a child with full-blown, could have a child with a trait, could have a child that has no trait, they could still have multiple children, but not all of them have the sickle cell anemia.
And I went that because I met a lady who all three of her children had sickle cell disease. She's lost two of them. She has one more left. And they died at early ages. The two girls, they passed away. Her last daughter, which was the baby, she was 16. I think she was 16. And so he has left. And of course, it's a challenge for him because all three of her, I cannot imagine.
I can't. Lord help. I tell you. But we keep spreading awareness and we're going to continue to do that. I am honored to know that you're coming to the weekend retreat, that you'll be with us poolside at the Akatiki Best Western on Friday, September 16th from 10 to noon. I just feel in my spirit that you're going to have information that somebody needs to know about. Somebody needs to hear. And we gonna pray over it. We gonna pray over it, that those seeds will be planted in fertile ground, because the more we know, the better we can do.
Yes.
Oh my word. Thank you so much. Thank you. Listen, I got a couple more questions for you if you hang in there with me for just a minute. I just have to let everybody know we have a new book out, so we'll be right back.
New from Inspired, the Alopecia Awareness Special Edition. Visit laderopress.com. 9 brave souls share their alopecia journey in this Confinement Chronicles Special Edition. Online everywhere. Hashtag I refuse to stop being me. The Alopecia Awareness Edition, encouraging testimonies birthed out of the 2020 pandemic. Stories written and compiled by NGB and Barty Productions. Published by Ladero Press. Inspired. Reading for the whole person.
When it seemed like the world had stopped, as if our normal would never be again. Confinement Chronicles.
Still, there were those who held fast to hope. These are their stories. From teachers to dads to nurses on the front line. They have chronicled their messages of hope. Confinement Chronicles, now available. Order today on Amazon, also available in audiobook or at laderopress.com.
Confinement Chronicles.
Hey everybody, I just want to be sure we all have the weekend retreat agenda. Thursday evening, we've got s'mores by the beach, a little bit of live musical entertainment by Barty Productions. We're going to have lots of networking because people are just checking into the hotel. Some folks are just coming into Daytona, the world's most famous beach. So we want to be sure we're there to greet them and make them feel at home. Then Friday, again, from 10 a.m. to noon, we've got the poolside workshops with sponsor presentations in our alopecia support group. One of our sponsors that's coming out to talk to us is Ms. Griffin. She's going to be introducing a new concept to us, having compassion for people that have sickle cell anemia. I know sometimes we just look at them, and if we don't see it, we don't understand it. Well, Ms. Griffin gonna help us to understand it. All right, Friday at noon, from noon to 4, we're going to have an author meet and greet, and we're going to be networking with Dr. Vanessa Blackwell and several of her authors from her anthology series. That segment is hosted by Daytona Beach residents Laretha and Takesha. They are both Amazon best-selling authors in Dr. Vanessa's anthology, and so we're excited about welcoming them to Daytona. We're also going to have our all-white pool party Friday evening with beachside photos, resort provided entertainment, and somebody told me that it's going to be happy hour going on, so just pass me the lemonade. And then Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., that's when we have the Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar. It's going to take place at the Root Family Train Station, located at the Museum of Arts and Science, 325. That's supposed to be South Nova Road in Daytona Beach, right across from the Gardens of Daytona apartment complex. Then Saturday evening, we've got more support group, photo shoot, pool party fun, and then Sunday fellowship service on the beach with songs and prayer. If you have any other questions or want to know about sponsoring the Alopecia Awareness Beauty Bazaar, if you'd like to know, if you have more information about alopecia or even about sickle cell, just, you can use the information that's at the bottom of the screen. Just visit our website, send us a message, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. Okay, let's bring Ms. Griffith back right quick so we can hear more about some of your advocacy. Am I saying it right? Advocate work. Yes. And you say you're with Volusia and Flagler counties, correct?
Volusia, Flagler, St. John's, and Putnam counties.
What? How do they expect you to?
So the goal is to build offices and to give people jobs in those areas.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. That's good. Well, I tell you, I'm gonna put it out there. Angie B Productions is very interested in helping you to spread awareness and find the resources that you need for those people. I'm not even gonna call them patients, for those people. Okay.
The warriors.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Warriors.
That's cool. Now, do you guys have a color? I know Alopecia's color is royal blue. Do you have a awareness month yet? For
our color is crimson red, black, yes. And our month is September, the month we're in right now. This is September. This is National Sickle Cell Awareness Month.
There we go. There we go. All right. We're going to be right there. this year, next year, as long as the Lord allow it, because we gotta work together. We are stronger together. That's what we say at Volusia Businesswomen. We are stronger together when we know what's going on. Oh, thank you for that. Red, white, and black. And September is your month too. All right.
Yeah. Congratulations on your proclamation from Mayor Henry. Yes.
Girl, that was a blessing.
I felt that way when he gave you mine for World Sickle Cell Day in June.
Yeah.
It was so sweet, like priceless. It was priceless, yes.
And then when you start to share that information with other people, the alopecians in Atlanta were all excited. They're ready to get theirs. The alopecians on the West Coast are all excited. And it just, it really solidifies the community spirit. It really, really does. It does. Okay, well, I know that Laretha's going to get in touch with you. We want you to be our guest on an upcoming episode of Books and Besties, where we talk to community leaders and folks that are doing some things, and you're definitely doing that. So we just want to be able to introduce you to as many of our audience members as possible. And Laretha's also going to have you as a guest on her show. So what's the problem? It airs on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we know there is a problem in the community. Anytime somebody needs an advocate.
Yes.
I ain't trying to wish that you ain't got a job no more, but I wish you didn't have to have a job no more. You know?
Yes.
It's something. It's something. Thank you, my dear. I
Yes,
appreciate
thank you so much.
it.
I'm looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
All right, honey. Have a good one. And
Yes.
thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Yes, everybody, that segment was presented by VeluciaBusinessWomen.com. We definitely are stronger together. We definitely are. Visit Volusia Business.
Moaning in the night, my moan is taking flight. Like fruit on a vine, my moan is sweet and ripe. Taking over body and soul, taking breaths as each moan rolls softly off my tongue and through my lips. My hands, my arms, my hips, moving in sync with my moan. My hands, my arms, my hips, moving in sync with my moan. Moaning through smiles or tears, moaning for whichever one it is. My moan is mine to feel. Feel my moan. Feel my moan. Feel my moan. Piercing your body, making you sweat. Piercing your mind, making you forget. Piercing your ears, making you deaf. Piercing your heart, wishing you left. And yet, you still are here. Hearing my moan. Hearing my moan. Hearing my moan. My moan grows louder and louder. My moan opens my soul like a flower. My moan is my weakness and my power. My moan brightens the darkness in the hour. My moan is heavy, yet leaves me light. My moan is utter agony and sheer delight. My moan erases my wrongs and paints my rights. My moan moves freely in the night. My moan releases my stress. My moan has a light. My moan is my passion, and my moan is my fight. My moan is
It's time to get in the flow
with Pastor Letiska Powell. Restoring the broken, torn, and seem to be forgotten people of God. Freedom to see yourself differently. Liberating you to become who you are. Authentic opulence. Operating in the image of God. Wealthy. Born to live. Let's get in the flow. Come spend the next 30 minutes. Get in the flow. In the flow. The flow.
What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Pastor Letiska Powell, and I am so excited today. I will be reading a couple of pages from my book. Now, before I even get into the book, I'm going to tell you, it took me 6 months to write 46 pages because of fear. So to any author that is out there, never be afraid of what God has put in your heart to write down. Do not be afraid to publish it. Do not be afraid to go around people that have already done the things that you desire to do. Never stop yourself, because the idea is a gift to prosper you. Okay, let's start. Page 1. We have Powerful DNA by Letiska Powell. Thank you, Lord. I am a spirit, authentic and powerful. Realizing this was the most important thing I have ever done. Daily we travel this spiritual path alone, between light and darkness, yin and yang, not knowing all the energies of this universe are within us. My homing in on who I was the oh my God moment. Now, most people who know me know I speak to God or speak of God often. And I now know God and I are one. Life is a spiritual journey and an experience to become our highest, greatest version. We are the authors and finishers of our own fate. And guess what? I came to win. Together, we can set the record straight. First, we must break away from the illusion of self. There is no self, only incarnations of self outside of self. Understand that all is energy, nothing is still, and nothing is permanent. Imagine yourself as a shapeshifter all day long. Everyone you encounter is a part of you that you either refuse to acknowledge because it's negative energy, or it's a part of you that you adore and you really are attracted to. We are being mirrored through every encounter daily. And because most of us have no idea this is taking place, we bring beliefs about others into our encounter. All because we have forgotten all is spirit and all is connected. Truly, all is one. And Jesus spoke about being one with the Father, which we are as well. We use words in which we know not the meaning of. The King James Bible as a reference to just that, 2 Corinthians 3 and 6. Who has also made us able ministers of the New Testament, not of the letter, but of the Spirit. For the letter killeth, but the Spirit giveth life. The eternal meaning of that scripture is, it is not the word itself that kills. It is the meaning of the word that brings life to it. Oh, and don't forget about the evil eye, jealousy, envy. All of these things are real. So do not be fooled. We all have cast spells unknowingly. We all have intuition and insight. However, most of us don't even trust it. We all can channel, speak light language. Some people call it tongues, or speak in other tongues. We all heal other people. As we heal those that we pass through our conversations, because we bring into their awareness the places that we've been healed from. and therefore we heal them in the process. We are spirit and not the vessel. The vessel is all that has ever been that holds the universe inside of each and every one of us. Often we forget that we are spirit. Maybe because we are always looking at the body. We are the body of God, Christ, or source. All is one. Jesus said it in King James Bible, John 10:31. I and the Father are one. Also, John 17:21. That they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, and I in thee, that they also may be as one in us, and the world may believe that thou hast sent me. We are assigned to do great works, to become our own revelation of who we are. Remember, we are sent by God, purposed, and can do anything if we put our minds to it. Let's not forget the program mind is always working. Those lower thoughts that seem to flow into the minds at will are programs of fear. In our original blueprint, fear did not dwell within our vessels. A great example is now. We are co-creating our world right now. You are looking for a teacher and proof. I have appeared. Only you can prove that point. You are a fragment of me. At one time, my consciousness was where you are right now, slowly becoming a master teacher, still and learning. Yes, we all teach one another, reversing the roles of teacher-student. And we can learn from anyone at any time. Life itself is like a play. Each set is different. Each set is a different experience, and that experience is all up to you. It is always whatever you think it is. Yes, we determine our own outcome. In time, we all can learn to expect anything from anyone. My expectation is my belief, and it is so in my life. Just as your beliefs rule you, it takes conscious thinking, and I focus on my breathing. When you focus on your breath, that is where your mind goes, for your mind is on your breath. It is just there. How can I buy a copy of your book? You can go onto Amazon, look up. We have Powerful DNA. Put my name in there, Latiska Powell, and you can find it right there. It's $14.99, and it's the ebook on there too. And I got to talk to Angie B so she can turn it into an audio. So it's all up to you. How do you like to? Do you like to sit down and physically read? Would you like to hear it? I want to hear it. I do. Some say my thoughts do not manifest. We are always receiving. We're just overthinking. After all, we lack focus at times. And we miss the experience because it's not exactly how we wanted it. So still, and let me get into that real quick. So often, I'm gonna give you an example. I was speaking to a young lady. I was at a photo shoot one time, and she said that she wanted to be a model, then realized that she was a model right at that moment. She wanted to be a model, and she wanted all the aesthetics that went along with what her imagination was of a model would be. Now, mind you, she didn't even notice she had a makeup artist there. She had someone, her wardrobe person was with her. She was at a freaking photo shoot. And she still didn't realize she was in the land of being a model right then and there. She's still looking outside of herself unknowingly. Right? It's not about witchcraft. Casting words are, when you learn how to write, what do they teach you? Spelling. Words are like spells because the words that you speak, they come forth out of you. God is one with you. So whatever you're speaking is going out into the universe and is coming back. It won't be void. So it's not a matter of witchcraft. It's a matter of consciously speaking as though things already exist, following the Bible to the key, because it's not the word, it's the meaning of the words. And when we're speaking, sometimes we have no idea the meaning of some of the words that we say, like the word palette. There's so many words to so many definitions to palette. Like it could be a paint palette. It can be a wooden palette. It could be the palette at the top of your mouth. If you're unaware of what you're saying, that means you're unaware of what you're manifesting in your life. You're manifesting all day, every day, just out of your own thoughts and your actions and the words that you speak. So I say we're casting spells all day, and it really gets good because the Bible tells you to write the vision and make it plain. So if you write the vision and make it plain, what are you doing? You are spelling on paper. Now, if you call it witchcraft, so be it in your life. But God gave you the power to change everything about you. How you imagine yourself, I don't understand, speaking it into existence. The Bible talks about we are to speak as though things are, not in the past tense. So often we speak in the past tense, or either so freaking far in the future that we're not even in the present moment of how we are speaking. You listen to gospel songs all the time and change is coming. No, change can actually be here now because heaven is at hand now. So why do I have to wait for change when change, Lord, thank you for change, and I receive it? Or using words like someday, one day. Your subconscious mind has no idea when that day is. One day God is gonna bless me, and you're gonna wait all your life for that one day because you won't even put a specific day on it. It's gonna be on a Wednesday, Lord, and I'm gonna be so happy and grateful to have received this thing I've been waiting for forever. Or you hear people say things like, I'm gonna tell you how I used to win the lottery a lot. I used to go, I'm gonna go ahead and get me some money. So my friends and my kids used to be around me and say, you gotta go in there and get you some money. I said, yeah, I can get money from anywhere. So I had a girlfriend that would say to me, well, that's not of God. I said, everything was made by God for God. I'm going in here, I'm getting some money. Done with that. And so I would go in there with my dollar, because I ain't never really want to spend no hundreds of dollars over it, on a lottery ticket. I would go in there with my dollar and come out with 100. They say, well, how did you do that? Now I understand. I gotta claim it. That's right, with your words. Why would he, if you know your word is God, in the beginning the word was God, and God is the word, use your words so that your words work for you. They got to work for you. You have so often we speak over other people's lives, this elegant story. But then when we have to speak over our own self, some of the most depressing conversations you could ever have. It's always someday, one day, I'm going to wait on the Lord. What are you waiting on the Lord for? Because God is waiting on you to remember what you read in the book that you believe in. He gave you a blueprint. Somebody told me years ago, Bible meant basic instructions before leaving earth. So if it's basic instructions before leaving earth, the three things that, it's like 6 things in the Bible to me. I have free will. All is forgiven. I'm loved unconditionally. He gave me power, love, sound mind. I'm to write the vision, make it plain. Work my words so that my words work for me. The things that Jesus did, I can do also. So either I'm a believer that the power that he gave Jesus, because Jesus said, I and the Father are one. And not only that, when Jesus ascended and said it was done, it was finished, he said, now I'm with you. And not only am I with you, I send you a comforter. So now, are you attaching yourself to the Trinity being in you and being alive and well in you, and you being the living water? of the, like you are the living word. It's not about the book. It's about, do you understand the book? Not from a literal standpoint, but do you understand it in your spirit? That's where it's at. That's where it all clicks. Like in spirit and truth, not a literal form, or not from the concept of what someone has taught you. I was talking to a girlfriend yesterday. Was that no day before yesterday, I believe. And I said, Linda, do you realize we come from, and I can only talk about Black people because I think we're the most, we in denial. We really are. We come from lineage of slavery. So you got to understand that some of those slaves that decided that they wanted to be pastors, yes, they could read, but did they know the meaning of the words in which they were speaking? Were they really teaching us in a proper way? Or were they teaching from their own understanding? It's kind of like voting. You know, how do you go run out and vote and you never read the law? You just following what somebody else said for you to, oh, you should vote for this person. No, you got to understand this in your spirit and truth. I used to listen to, and still do to this day, Neville Goddard. And in one of his audios, he teaches you how to use your imagination to create anything because you are the kingdom. Most people will agree, well, I am the kingdom. Okay, well, if you're the kingdom, he teaches you how to go within and create anything that you want to see outside of you. You got to see it inside of you before anybody else can see it. You got to be able to accept that part of you so that other people can receive that part of you. You know, if you wanted to, I would say, if you wanted to change anything, change the way you think about who you are and how you even perceive yourself. What is your highest version of yourself? Are you, like, hear people say, well, some people are just service and they're supposed to be in the background. But have you always seen yourself in the background? Like, have you seen someone in the forefront and you saying to yourself, I could do this and I could do that? But because you just have that, your reflection is in the background, but you are fully capable to be in the forefront. Who's doing that to you? Only you. Why do you not deem yourself worthy to be in the forefront? That's it. The positions that you see yourself in, that's like me in the 6 months it took me to write this book. I knew I was an author. I get up every day and write. I'm talking about books and books and books of journals growing up. Poetry everywhere. Just growing up, I had just stuff everywhere. Now, what do I do with this stuff? Do I put it in a book so that I can create a generational wealth for my family? Do I just let it sit in these journals, and if the house catch on fire or something, and now I've lost everything? What do you do with the knowledge that you've gained? Once you've gained knowledge, it's our responsibility to let it go. Because once you let it go, you relieve yourself. It's like cleaning up your house. Throw away the old, God pour in some new stuff. So the more I begin to, every time God would tell me something, I would get a aha moment. Like I'm reading the Bible and I'm like, oh, now I finally understand what this is saying. I got to tell the world about this, how powerful we truly are. We think that the power is outside of us, but all of the power has been bestowed with us. And it's nothing that we cannot have, but we must first find it in ourselves to accept it. You got to get with me. You have a whole inheritance. You know, you are part of the kingdom. When you were thought of, God thought of everything pertaining to you. How you were going to live, the things that you were going to go through, your highest version. Just begin to think like God. What do you think you were really created for? And how high can you go in your consciousness? How high can you perceive God saw you? How rich, because he already told you that you were rich. So how rich are you in your own mental state? How deserving and worthy of you are you in your own mental state? That's what holds a lot of people back. Their own, how they look at themselves. Most people create work because they think that's the only way they can get it. I used to go up and down my Instagram and I'm like, Lord, why are they working like this? It was a video, she tripped me out. She said, I work to work, and when I sleep, I'm working. And why would you? Because that's what your mind says. In order for you to have, you have to work. Your mind does not tell you to go to your provider because people and things do not provide for you. Your mind has not told you yet to say a prayer. Lord, I'm ready for some of my inheritance now. But I'm tired of working. I want to go on a sabbatical. I want to have some peace in my life. Mine ain't told you that because you have not understood to say that type of prayer. Question: how can I learn to look at myself like I'm rich? How about this? Treat yourself as though that you're rich. I had a girlfriend come over to my house. She said, girl, you eating out of china and crystal? Because I don't want nobody else to do it for me. I want to do it for myself first. That's how I look at me. That's who I am. I am that. I come from opulence. So why would I not see myself as opulent? Do you know how many years I did not know how worthy I was to have any freaking thing y'all can do? The question got me crying. And to know that all I had to do was use my mind and find it within myself, or to begin to pray prayers knowing that nothing is withheld from me or you or anyone, and understanding that God has no respect of person. As long as I stay in the position of not judging anything, judgment, having critical things to say about other people, will block your manifestation. Why would I not be happy for my sister or my brother and they're living their highest, grandest life? I was in church.
You are cordially invited to join us for Sunday afternoon service. It's all about Jesus and Me Incorporated, the teaching ministry. Join us every first and third Sunday at 2:30 p.m. with Pastor Mary Hope and Minister Deacon Jerome Hope. Our outreach ministries include the Sick and Shut-In for our members, a virtual youth writing ministry, virtual Bible study, assisted living facility services, and a brand new shoe ministry, Walking in a New Life. Our teachings come from testimonies to show how the Word of God is effective in our lives, making the Bible come to life in our daily walk with Christ. It's all about Jesus and Me, the teaching ministry. Join us on the first and third Sunday of the month at 2:30 p.m. at 1855 Prunier Road in St. Augustine, Florida. You are cordially invited.
For more information on how you can register your business, how you can receive a URL.
Sickle Cell fundraiser. We are here to raise awareness and raise funds for the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association in Volusia County, Putnam, Flagler, Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties. We are joined today in these final hours of our 24-hour broadcast by my busiest of bees, Mother Laretha Simon. Hey everybody, it's me, the Queen Bee Evangelist, Angie B, and I'm here buzzing in my beehive and doing some research on sickle cell anemia. If you don't already know, I am a part of Volusia Businesswomen. VolusiaBusinesswomen.com is a business and event directory where products and services are featured on the website, products and services that may benefit people that are in Volusia County, Florida. Now, on January 28th, 2023, Volusia Businesswomen will sponsor a 24-hour telethon. We keep thinking about it like it's the Jerry Lewis telethon, but it's a little bit different. We're bringing the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association telethon 24 hours from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. And we're doing this as a fundraiser and an awareness builder. So I thought I would take a little bit of time just to try to do some research, figure out exactly what sickle cell is and how it affects people. And I'm really not sure if the research that I did helped. I'm really not sure if I know any more before I started Googling than I did before. So I thought I would come on now and pretty much just talk about what I do know about sickle cell. In the early 80s, I was a student at Wilberforce University in Dayton, Ohio. And I was an honor student as an incoming freshman. And the class of 83 honor roll students were privileged to be housed in Timken Court, which was a brand new part of the dorms that was built for freshmen. It was a small kind of little townhouse, 2-story, bedrooms upstairs and downstairs. And so one of my roommates in Timken Court was this tall, beautiful, chocolate, articulate, wise woman. She was just delightful. She truly was a dream to be around until she fell into crisis. You know, before then I had only heard, like, if you got a horror movie playing in the background and you got a woman screaming, I'd only heard those type of screams. The scream that I heard that came from her was gut-wrenching. When she was in crisis, the howl that came out of her came out of the depths of something. And it was awful. Now, she had come to Wilberforce with her boyfriend who had if I believe correctly, he had been on this journey with her for a while through high school. And so he kind of knew what some of her triggers were, and he knew how to help her. I know that there were a couple of times late in the evening, there would be a knock on the door, and it would be him coming to check on her because she had contacted him, and I know there were a couple times he would seem like he would steam up the whole second floor just from having her in the bath or in the shower, trying to warm her up. But I tell you, I really don't know. You know, they say God don't put no more on you than you can bear. I don't know how she handled it. I don't know. I don't know, because one, going away to college is stressful enough. And from some of the things I researched, yes, sickle cell crises can be brought on by stress. So going away to college is stressful enough. Going away to college when the dorm is right next to the cornfields, no, I'm making light of it. I truly admire what she must have been going through. I appreciate that he was there for her. That was very, very sweet, kind of romantic, very sweet. And the closer we get to the telethon, the more I realize what I don't know about sickle cell, what I don't know about the treatments. You know, you think you know a lot until you realize what you don't know. And so we are very grateful for Kiana Griffin of the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association. She came to the Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar weekend retreat in September, and she spoke. Well, she did more than speak. First, she ushered in the presence of the Holy Spirit because she sang from her heart and sang beautifully. Then she gave us a quick rundown on sickle cell. Do you know that sickle cell is not exclusively an African American disease? Do you know that sickle cell, that one parent and two parents could have multiple children? Some of those children could have the disease and some could not, but all of them will have the trait. I mean, I've learned a lot from Kiana, and I'm so grateful for her. But she talked to us about how medical professionals can sometimes overlook a person in crisis because they look like they're drug seeking. I don't know. I don't know. I know that Kiana is on the road a lot, Volusia and Flagler counties. She goes to the hospitals with patients when they are in crisis to help communicate their need to the medical professionals, and it is a godsend. It is definitely a godsend. So, as one of the co-founding members of Volusia Businesswomen, Laretha Simon and I are honored to be bringing this telethon. We ask that if you or someone you know has been affected by sickle cell, please just record a simple little video just like this one and send it to us. The email address is at the bottom of the screen. If you don't feel like putting on lipstick and you just don't want to be on camera, send us an email and say, yes, my daughter, or yes, or I don't know anything about it. What can you tell me? All videos are accepted and appreciated. Okay? They really, really are. I want to thank my husband, Barty. He was the first one to contribute a truly honest video. He said, I don't know if I got the trait or not. I don't know if I passed it along to my sons or not. I tell you, that's truly honest. Do you know? Do you know? I appreciate my sister Sonia for creating a video and saying that she knows that she does not have the trait, but she didn't know if my niece's father had the trait or not. So she had my niece tested. You know, you probably have a similar story, and we really would like to have it, to be able to read it, to be able to share it, and to be able to let people know while we are in the midst of the 24-hour telethon. Now, some people say, oh, well, that's just like Jerry Lewis. He used to do a telethon. Yeah, he did. A lot of it was testimonies, videos, ways that the disease is being treated and fought. But some of it was commercials, and some of it was music. I mean, you could see a real good concert watching the Jerry Lewis telethon. Jerry would get all his friends together and they have a great concert. So I'm asking anyone in the music industry, music ministry, if you could send in a video along with permission for us to air it. If you could send us a song, the MP3, MP4 of the song, and give us permission to air it. We want the 24 hours to be educational and entertaining. Okay? Educational and entertaining. So please, ma'am, please, sir, if you don't mind, send in your questions, send in your videos, send in your music. If you got some poetry, you know, I narrate audiobooks and I love to narrate some beautiful poems. So send in your poetry, send in your questions. Send in your questions. And we will produce it all and put it together for a wonderful presentation that will give God the glory. Okay? Shout out to my my partner with Volusia Businesswomen. Shout out to Laretha. Please be sure to watch her show Thursdays at 7 p.m. She continues to spread awareness. She continues to spread awareness. She truly, truly does, and I am grateful for that. Also, if you have a desire to be a part of the broadcast live, we can do that too. We can do that. Keep in mind that this is a fundraiser, and so there may be a little cost associated with that, just like there's a little cost associated with your commercial airing. But the goal is to raise $800. Okay? And why are we trying to raise $800? Well, let me tell you. Sometime before 1988, I guess there was a law that said before you get married, you have to have a blood test to see if you carry the trait. That way, if you do, you kind of, you kind of know what you got to do a little bit. Okay? But when I was first married in October of 1988, I was like, okay, we're getting our license. When do we do the test? And they told us, oh, that law is done. It's over and done with. You ain't got to worry about that. I remember thinking, okay, well, that's good. I don't have to get stuck. But then now that this awareness is coming up, I'm thinking, how many people got married, had children, and wondered what could they have done things differently if they had known. So the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association is purchasing testing kits. That's what we're raising money for, so that Kiana Griffin can go county to county and test people for sickle cell and help them become more aware and more prepared. More aware and more prepared. Okay? So we will be talking more about this at our virtual networking meeting. We'll be spreading some awareness and asking folks for donations. Volusia Businesswomen has our virtual networking on the second Saturday of each month at 9:00 a.m. All you have to do is send an email to volusiabusinesswomen@gmail.com and we will send you the link. This is a free treat exclusively for our members. To be a member of Volusia Businesswomen, just go on and register for the URL or join, add your business listing, or just list your business on the website. If you are interested in the networking, send an email, again, volusiabusinesswomen@gmail.com, and we will get you squared away. That's going to be the second Saturday of each month at 9 a.m. Okay, so we will